Hello, Dota fans, and specifically Irish Dota fans. We're back with a Division 1 match between Sentinel Island Esports and the Pepegs. I'm Anti, and I'm joined by my co-caster Mousy. Hello, Mousy.
Hey Andy, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And we've got Malou on the obs tonight, and we're going to take a look at this draft. Malou, bring up the draft. We immediately see
Ooh,
the
flashy
Techies
effects.
ban and the Enchantress ban for either team. Huge respect bans, especially after Mev's last performance, his first match on Techies in the Irish Dota League, and it was a stormer for sure. Um, Along with some more traditional meta bans, would you say, Mousy?
Yeah, I suppose we're seeing. I don't know. With these teams, there's been like a few respect bands that are still fairly meta at the minute too. Um, Hopefully, well, I suppose we've seen like big ones so far with the,
10
as you said, with the
seconds
techies
remaining.
like being more respect ban, but
5
players from
seconds
both teams right
remaining.
now have some meta picks. It'll be interesting to see what they go for, especially on Pepegs right now. This Zonarch
Radiant
guy who
team pick.
has been soloing his game so far. We'll see if he's able to keep that up.
Yeah, Zonok's a bit of a wild card. We saw the anti-mage pick in a previous series. We're going to pick up the damage Skywrath Mage first, though. A classic for damage. I think one
10
of the
seconds
more
remaining.
favored heroes from his poolers as of recent.
5
Um,
seconds remaining.
Yeah, one
Thinking
of his
about
three main core picks, isn't it? Really?
100%, yeah. Voxo might be struggling for heroes at some point. I feel like the Pepegs have decided, let's just ban out all of his heroes at some point. We're not going to see his famed Ench or Disruptor. But Pepegs remaining a mystery to Irish Dota. They've only played one series, so we've only got 2 games to go off.
Dire team ban.
What will they be
Good
picking
on
up?
you, mate.
What? Am I seeing this correctly?
Okay, we're straight into the Largo. You have seen it correctly, I assume. But I don't know what to say about this. Are we going to see the first
10 seconds
decent
remaining.
performance of a Largo in Irish Dota? No shade.
It's
5 seconds
it's
remaining.
possible. I'm
Mm.
assuming this will be played on a support role. I can kind of see the vision into
Dire
Skywrath. You
team
can
banned.
dispel the silence, which is kind of nice.
Yeah,
But I mean, we've got so little data on this hero. We'll have to see how this plays out for the
yeah.
Pepegs.
I can only hope it's a support role as we've seen. Core so far has I not really
10
worked out
seconds
for
remaining.
it, shall we say? But it's very reliant on
5
getting a few
seconds
items if you do
remaining.
choose to have it core. So in the support role at the minute, I mean, you can get some active items on it, and it's really nice into that Skywrath, I suppose. Lotus Glimmers are all really solid, especially when he gets the shard.
Yeah, big value out from that shard. And big value out from not the Zonarch Anti-Mage, as it's banned out. I'm sure Damage was crying to his drafter to get that banned for a Skywrath game.
Yeah, especially after seeing Zonarch's performance on it yesterday. I know, unfortunately for him, they lost that game, but really he kept them in it for quite a while. And if a few plays had went the other way,
Radiant
that could have been
team
a
ban.
2-0 last night. So I completely believe banning it out right now.
It feels like you've got a player on either team that's kind of like you need to rein in the leash, so to speak. You've got Maestro on Sentinel and you've got Zonarch on the Pepegs. And both of these players kind of crazy, playing dangerous up on the other side of the map, so it'll be cool to see how they clash
Yeah,
as
some
we
real
come
limit
into this
testers out
match.
here in Irish Dota.
What do we feel like for a 3 pick for Heisenberg here? Will they pick like a Tide Hunter? Doesn't really care about the Skywrath silence so much.
Yeah, we could, I suppose. I'm trying to think of what they did pull out yesterday. Um, Heisenberg is Alpha Mega Pepega, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So I know yesterday he had played Tide,
Dire
which is still
team
in the
pick.
pool and isn't Too bad. Okay, they're picking up a clockwork though first. Presumably support here. I'm going to assume that's not pause 3, but with the let's see, with the Skyreth and the picks so
10
far, if we're looking
seconds
at a pause
remaining.
3, like there's still plenty they could play, but Tide is pretty
5
relevant.
seconds remaining.
Sand King isn't bad either. But
Dire team
really, until we see a couple more picks, I wouldn't really assume too much.
Yeah, I'd say I'm looking less at a Tide Hunter if this is the dual melee support duo from the Pepegs. I think the Tide clock lane can be a little sad sometimes. So we could maybe be expecting something more like a Viper,
10 seconds
that
remaining.
kind of ranged off laner. But Sentinel picking up the Shadow
5
Fiend
seconds
for King
remaining.
Jones. It's been very solid in his hands previously and in the previous league as well.
Yeah, and you asked about meta picks earlier. The fact that Viper's gone uncontested until now is actually a little bit scary. Who's willing to pick it up?
I suppose the SF after the laning stage, or even during the laning stage, is okay into Viper. You've got the razors to kind of chunk his health early, and then the physical damage to take him out later. So maybe this is a sort of shielding pick for that eventuality.
Yeah,
But
they
running
admittedly
slightly low.
probably could flex as SF. I know Jones, the carry player, has played it before, so he's probably quite comfortable on its safe lane. And traditionally still a mid hero, he can definitely at least be played there as well. So they're probably playing around this flex pick at the minute. A Tusk pickup.
Yeah, I'd say the Tusk definitely locks it to be a King Jones hero. I think this Tusk SF lane is one of the strongest lanes in the current meta of Dota. And I really can't see Maestro looking to play Shadow Fiend AFK farming on the mid lane. That's not what this guy does.
Yeah, true. It is Maestro. At the end of the day, the man likes to run it down. Lose some imprint score as we do. But yeah, as you said, like the Tusk SF lane is really, really strong right now. And to your point earlier, I would be a very sad Clockwork or Tide Hunter if I was laning into Tusk SF as a lane.
Yeah, it's a scary lane. I think the Pepegs are going to have to use some of their time thinking about how they want to counter this, whether they do tend towards this Viper and try and play Clock Viper and give him a bit of a buffer with the cogs. But they can still get on top of him in that lane.
Yeah, they definitely can. But I will say offlane has felt like a fairly melee heavy meta this time around, so it could be a slightly difficult Dawnbreaker. Okay, I'm
So they
guessing
kind of
that's
swing the other way.
yeah, I'm guessing that's the lane reveal though. Presumably Dawnbreaker clock. Or
Maybe
sorry, excuse
Dawnbreaker
me,
Largo though.
Dawnbreaker Largo.
10 seconds
The
remaining.
Croak of Genius is his buff thingy, isn't it?
5
Is
seconds
probably
remaining.
actually pretty good with Dawn.
Yeah. It's big
And
damage.
any one of these Largo games, they're going to be kind of inventive, should I say, at the minute. We haven't really locked down what Largo is going to be yet in Dota, so I suppose. Okay, well, there we go.
There we go. It was coming one way or another, and
Yeah.
it's looking more like a mid lane pick at the moment.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty agreed with you there. I mean, we're starting to see how
10
these drafts are
remaining.
coming out.
5 seconds remaining.
With Fiverr, Dawnbreaker. Anything you'd like to see on the side of Pepegs for say a safe laner now?
I think it would have to be a backline ranger, or maybe a drow ranger, something like this, but into the Maestro classic Void Spirit, that might be a bit of an issue.
Okay, yeah, a hero that he's been on quite often. I believe we've seen it, but I do know he's definitely experienced on it, and he's played it pretty well in the past here. They have a very aggressive lineup on Sentinel at the minute. There's a lot of kill potential. I suppose like they have the Dawnbreaker to kind of counteract that to an extent, but it's probably looking to play a really aggressive game on Sentinel right now.
What I might like to see is carry Omni Knight for Pepegs, if
Mhm.
that's something that could be manifested into the universe here. But also potentially flex the Viper to carry and play a very fast draft, maybe with like a Beastmaster or something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, we've seen Zonarch like so far he's liked to put the game completely on his back and kind of push for the win. Like when he was playing the AM, it was a really kind of like solo focused game, and then he kind of turned around quite a bit actually on the Monkey King to play a little bit more team oriented. So we've seen him play both kind of styles so far, but
10 seconds
you know,
remaining.
either way, he feels like the player that's like aiming to maybe solo
5
carry the game a
seconds
little bit.
remaining.
So, you know, so far we've got a couple of bands out. We could maybe see something like, you know, his most played heroes that fit this, or kind of maybe something along like a more for a Slark. It's high risk, but also pretty high reward here.
That is a Visage pick. I was going to suggest that there weren't that many offlaners that I favor left from Azanti in the pool. They mostly banned out by the Pepegs. Visage is something I more so associate with a Voxo, but I'm assuming
Yeah.
10
Mazanti
seconds remaining.
also plays this hero very well.
I was
5
basically
seconds
going to
remaining.
ask a very similar question there. Is this where they flip? Is this the fabled Evoxo Visage and he goes offlane for them? I mean, we know he has
You may
experience in
now
offlane
select
from
your
before.
heroes.
A CK pickup?
I like the CK. I think the illusion direction is also very valid. And it's pretty good into most of these heroes. I don't know how good CK is currently, maybe making a slight comeback in the meta, but
Yeah, I feel like if it gets to a point with this game where CK is tanky enough that they don't really have many avenues to kill him, like that's a pretty nice point to Zonarch. But you know, it's kind of playing into the thing of Sentinel are if they can end the game quick enough, I could potentially see the CK not really ever getting off the ground.
yeah, it's a tricky lane for them as well against the Sky Visage. It's a lot of early damage.
Yeah. No, so yeah, we're seeing picks. It is the Mizanti visage in the end up. So a Voxo on the Tusk. Um, hmm. So I'm not familiar. Keo and Mev, do you know which one has been pause 3, pause 4 so far?
I believe Kyo is possible.
Okay. Right, so we're looking at pause 4 Arco, pause 5 clock. That would make more sense, yeah.
Although I may be mistaken. It's entirely possible it's the other way around, and these heroes kind of serve a similar purpose in the lane. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that
I'm gonna
lines
need
up.
to read the Largo E as I mentioned. Like it has some potential here. You know, it could maybe buff up that nuke from the visage. Reduce manufacturing percentage of damage reverberates for the
Prepare
following
for
5
battle.
seconds. 45%. Okay.
A pretty
Yeah, no.
hefty increase.
As you said, they do a lot of the same thing. To be fair, I could kind of see it going either way. But looking at their previous games, Mev was the pause 4. So we'll be looking at a pause 4 Largo, pause 5 clock.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Lane the Dawnbreaker with the Largo.
Nah.
Both teams smoked up here, wrapping deeply on the Pepegs, but not finding anything. Ships in the night almost around this Roche Pit area.
30 seconds to battle.
As it looks like it's going to be a relatively passive rune exchange, but I can't imagine that'll be the same situation for the lanes once they get a couple levels.
Yeah, we're
Even
looking
level
at
1, these heroes, quite dangerous.
Yeah, I suppose both teams are kind of slightly worried about what the other team can do right now. Like, level 1, you know, those drafts, like level 1 Tusk and
The
level 1
battle
Clockwork are both
begins.
pretty strong in that 5v5. You know, so I suppose both teams just played out a little bit cautious right now. Don't want to give up anything too early, so they'll just take the 2 for 2.
And awaiting Zonarch in the jungle are the 2 supports from Sentinel, but decides to take a safe route back to his lane. Very nice.
Yeah, the ward down behind the tower. They might just be choosing to. It could be their game plan. This one, just shut down Zonarch and try to pull it from there. But we'll see.
The fabled aggro tri lane. I don't think we'll be seeing that.
No, I just mean even as a delay is getting to lane. You know, they put out the aggressive ward immediately. The 2 supports were standing bottom, so I thought maybe they would looking for a little bit of an abuse early on.
Maestro taking a beating here on the first wave from Poltergeist Viper. I don't think this matchup's very good for Void Spirit, but we'll see what Maestro can do on his best hero.
Yeah, he's kind of getting slightly rinsed here at the minute, but you know it's to be expected in a Viper lineup, I suppose.
Yep, hits is level 2 though, so not feeling too bad.
Yeah, he'll be starting to get there once he's got his bottle, and he almost has a gold for it, so he'll maybe start to get a bit of a chance to sustain soon. If he doesn't die right now.
It's entirely possible, but these mid laners, they know how to play with their resources. He knows the extent of his hero.
Irish Dota, we limit testing.
That's what this game's all about with this Largo pick, limit testing the Largo. As
sure
it is
he'll fight.
Kyo in the off lane with Heisenberg up here. So we are seeing Kyo on the +4 Clockwork with the Dawnbreaker. Voxo level 2 now, they might go on Heisenberg here with the shards, but little interest from King Jones as creeps to hits, and this means that the Voxo's getting turned on. Kyo comes in with the cogs and the battery sword gets popped around.
Unfortunate with what he attempted to do with the shards there.
And
he
a second kill for the Pepegs in the bot lane. They find the Skyrath mage.
No, you're only allowed to hurt people one at a time on the map, please. Don't make us have to look at both sides. We know that. But no, yeah. Unfortunate on the shards there. I think the shard kind of pushed him into one of the cogs, and then he ended up bounced over it, which was if he had only got hit on the one there, I think he might have been okay. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him. But they pick up a return kill now on the clock.
Yeah, finally picked that up. They drop the shards, and he's low enough to where Tusk almost just kills him alone. So SF back to the creep wave as he loves. How's Zonarch doing down here? Not so great from Zonarch on the CS here. Only 9 and 1. We're almost as bad as the Void Spirit against the Viper. So struggling a bit down there.
Yeah, kind of
Mev can change that.
surprising enough, in my opinion anyway. I would have thought that this would be a little bit more reliable for him, but I suppose there is just, you know, a lot of harass coming out between them.
Go out on Heisenberg. Once again, it's the classic combo. SF Tusk, it's pretty much free. It's in the mid lane. Well, in the bot lane, Mazanti's getting got on by Zonarch and Mev together. Can he get the final hit in? Pops his stick and finds the click inside the tree line as mid. Poltergeist finally kills Maestro's Void Spirit.
Suddenly,
Further go on to damage with the lick from Mev. It pulls him back into the arms of Zonarch.
Suddenly the CS isn't too much of an issue for Zonarch.
And back-to-back action, it's Division 1. Dota 2 Island as Kyo and Voxo brawling into side, but King Jones is pretty low. Does Heisenberg have a hammer to follow that up? It doesn't have the cooldown.
Action-packed here so far. You know, Zonarch, like, still a little bit behind on last hits, but as I said, I don't think it's going to matter too much now. His net worth is climbing up the charts. You know, the Maestro in mid is kind of pulling himself up as well. He's
pulling himself just above the Tusk Pos 5 as he might go down another time here from Poltergeist. Nice remnant, but he's just going to tick out to the poison.
That's the curse, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it felt like he'd gotten a bit better. He got a few last hits compared to what he was at the first 2 levels, but unfortunately.
Mazanti continues the killing of the bot lane as damage turns around on Zonok, who was very close to the enemy tower there, trying to dive onto damage for a kill. But when there's a couple nukes out and this Visage has some points in his funny little skill that shoots a giant blob at you, you're not feeling so great.
That funny little ICBM, I'd say, you know, takes off about a quarter of your HP anytime it comes up. But yeah, funny little skill.
Zonok straight back to the aggression in the bot lane. Mazanti may be slightly too far up here on the Visage. If Zonok can continue onto him, but the cooldowns aren't quite there. Gets a silence on the Reality Rift as Mev maybe has a lick coming up, but he's playing with his health a bit much. Damage, no mana to speak of. It might be a double for Zonok, but Battery Assault ticks the last hit.
Yeah, big rotation from Clock there just to make sure. But we see a Voxel towards mid.
Lots of Grace. Viper ults out onto this poor level 5 Void Spirit. Please get him level 6. As a Voxo says, please go away.
Yeah, shards come out. I don't even know what to say about mid lane right now.
Double damage for the Viper. Watch out, Maestro.
We're coming up on 7 minutes here.
It's a wrap from the Tusk, Eisenberg. You gotta see this coming, but you're gonna get charged up into some raises. Can King Jones hit the last one? The slow from the Dawnbreaker Hammer is enough to deter him there as Mazanti finds Zonark on his XP rune. There's a big brawl coming up. Level 5 still from this Void Spirit trying to come into this fight. He's just getting clicked down by Zonark, who's attempting to break in. Mev finds the last hit onto the Void Spirit as Mazanti now in trouble on Visage. 3 heroes surrounding him. Kyo, does he have some control coming up in a couple seconds? He does, but it might not be needed as Zonark and Mev clicking through.
Map looking real red for Dire side right now. Some crazy rotations coming out of Esports so far.
Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah, no, real heads up team play there. What's our favorite line in Irish Dota? They're really changing the map state. Just
that's been the phrase of season 6, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Call
but
to
no.
Grace. Lurking in the shadows, King Jones pops the ulti to try and deter him, and there's rotation from a Voxo. The Dawnbreaker ult is there to secure the kill onto the Shadow Fiend, but they do find the Viper in return. So maybe quite happy with that. You lose some souls, but kill on the Viper's pretty big.
Yeah, a fairly minor net worth swing for Dire on it.
Maestro finds the level 6 immediately onto a kill on to Kyo. Just secure it there.
Yeah, he's gonna live to no rotation from it. Looking top though.
Another attempt on top onto the life of Heisenberg, as there's not much mana left on the Voxo. He might be walking away with his life here.
Looking like it.
Looking deeper into enemy territory though, does find the TP out.
Yeah, I think I'd be starting to look a little bit bad for Dire with, you know, I said I thought that Dire would be pretty aggressive this game, but coming out of lanes a little bit behind now would be a bit scary for them. They're well behind on Maestro and mid. Imprint score will not be looking good, but Viper has the potential to maybe take over the game a little bit here if they just start playing as a group, get around the tier 1s.
Level 9 on Poltergeist at 9 minutes 30 into the game. He's very happy. We'll keep up the pressure here as they move towards his top tower. Don't think there's going to be a defense coming out, as King Jones already sulked back to his deep jungle.
Radiant's middle tower
Zonark,
is
though,
under
making a
attack.
rotation over to the mid, pops the ulti. There's a snowball out onto him as they see him coming onto the board. And with the ults committed, they do find him. Heisenberg with the rotation, but it's not enough to save him. They might find some return kills. Mev strumming away, bringing Poltergeist with some bonus move speed over towards these enemy heroes. But nice dodge from Maestro. He looks like he's trying to go back in, but maybe this was a mistake. Gets hammered down into the ground by Heisenberg.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
No, just a few seconds off ult charge.
Dire's top tower
Pretty was a little
has
bit too
fallen.
far off on it. And
Not
top
the
tower was
most
down during
convincing
that.
game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely still have a couple of ways back in it. You know, a couple of items starting to come up now. We've got the drums out in the Visage. I'm sure that'll do something. But you know, the Void Spirit's very low right now. He's being contested for net worth by the supports on the net worth chart. So
Lock
I think
hooks
unless
in,
they
finds
find a way in.
Mazanti under the tower. They're going to close in. It's a big move from both teams here, as they are going to take out Keo first. But Zonark whacking away still onto Mazanti. He's surviving just long enough to get some more damage out, but now Zonark retreats off to the side, has a big stick with Poltergeist under the tower, clicking away onto the Shadow Fiend. King Jones rotated, but he goes down, so does the Viper. Maestro, can he clean up here all alone against Zonark, Mev, and Heisenberg?
Dire's bottom
Damage, no mana to speak of. Nice remnants out from Maestro Void Spirit, but he's got no spells left.
Dire's bottom
Yeah,
tower
just
has fallen.
know what
Dire's
to
top
say?
tower is under attack.
I mean, we could see this clash coming from the minimap, and both teams thought they had the advantage here. They even told King Jones to rotate in, but that ended up not working out for him. So
Yeah.
maybe they re-strategize here. They're just like, okay, we need to split a bit, farm up some key items. What can they really farm up
Radiant
here?
are scanning.
Are we waiting for... I don't think there's much we're waiting for here. Yeah. I think they just need to find moves that are opportune to their heroes. Send the
Yeah.
Skywrath with the Void Spirit to find one hero alone and blow them up. But the pressure is just too immense here for this Radiant team.
It's kind of difficult into, like, you're seeing exactly that on on top here right now. They try to go on anyone, and there's just a Dawnbreaker goalie ready to pull in at any point.
These Dawnbreaker hammers have been hitting pretty on target here as Poltergeist rolls on over. Heisenberg surviving so long here in this 2v1 as Mev might even try and get a solo kill on the Void Spirit here. And a Voxo takes out to the burn. I mean, when Largo rolls up and just whacks a Void Spirit over the head to death, you know you're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, that's a little bit worrying for Sentinel right now. I think they just have like a very tanky, sustainable lineup right now. Like we saw whenever they were under that tower, you'd think that Dire have some
Dire's
advantage,
top
and
tower
I
is
guess
under
that's why they
attack.
played around that bottom fight so hard. But like they're just sustaining between Dawnbreaker heal, between Largo ulti. The man's just strumming away playing Guitar Hero in the background, and suddenly everyone is full health. So I think it's a little bit scary right now. They have the potential to just really deathball it down.
Looks like we're going to see a big smoke move out from the Dire side, trying to get
Dire
any
are
kill they
scanning.
can.
Dire's
And it
top
might be
tower
onto
is
this
under
Keo
attack.
Clockwork, who is waiting for this 14-minute XP run, is going to manage to snipe it.
Radiant's
I'm afraid
courier
I think
has
I have
been
a visual
killed.
bug. I can no longer see things. 1 second,
That's
apologies.
fine. Well, talking of no longer seeing things, I don't think they're going to see Keo for much longer, as both steps expected. Keo makes the hook shot,
Radiant's
trying to
bottom
juke and
tower
jive
is
into the
under
tree
attack.
lines, but ultimately he is food for King Jones. No teleport scroll for him.
Yeah, so I have vision on all of the heroes, but they're invisible even when I have vision on them.
That sounds tricky. But what isn't tricky is this go on to Mev. Disrupted by Heisenberg with a big hammer. Mazanti dropping low. But not quite the follow-up to finish him off, but Mev runs away, strumming all the while. As Poltergeist rolls up into this mid lane, this is his stomping ground. Avoxo finds the punch onto Mev, but there's an immediate counter attack from Heisenberg. King Jones pops a nice ult, hypnotizes onto Poltergeist with the remnant, and they're pulling him back in, but licks from Mev pulls him out of way of danger. And now they're re-engaging Zonox here on the right-hand side as Avoxo and Damage trying to take out the Kyo clockwork. Can they even do it? Kyo finds him, but Avoxo gives his life to the neutral creeps for it, and now Damage praying in the tree line, but there's too many heroes surrounding him.
Just looking towards a death ball right now. Looking back on the replay, kind of just seeing what I said about like under the tower earlier. Like even when they're doing damage, you're not doing it fast enough, and the guitar hero just keeps going. Sounds playing on expert right now.
Back into game though. They found Maestro outside the tower. He's TP'd in aggressively, and now he might tick out to the Viper on the side. So low health, survives.
So I'm just going to disconnect and reconnect.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe the best idea as Invisrune for Heisenberg. He's going to waltz up into this top jungle and run into a Voxo, who's just dewarding.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Is he quick enough? Can he find the hammer? Very spry Tusk. Jones spotted out by the flare from the clock.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So it looks like there's got to fix the waves. As bot lane, are they making a go onto Zonarch? They are. Damage and Mazanti with the double drop of the birds and the Skyrath ults. They do find the kill. Burst him down. Mid lane, Poltergeist may be in trouble now as they bring two of Voxer with the punch. And Poltergeist sitting on a little low health but licked out by Mev. Is he now going to be able to make the turn with the Dawnbreaker ult? Poltergeist survives with the help from this Largo, who I think the impact has been felt. We were a bit suspicious of it, but another lick brings a Voxer back into the range of the Poltergeist Viper. Heisenberg to finish him. Not much damage can do here.
I believe I'm back.
Well, you're back just in time for a missed hookshot from Kyo. But maybe Zonarch in this bot lane stepped out of position. There's King Jones behind him, and there's Mazanti on top of him. Pops the ulti, he's going to try and fight. He only gets one illusion. Fighting back towards his team, but here's Maestro on the Void Spirit, locks him down just enough time as Heisenberg rolls up with Poltergeist, jumping in with the Viper Strike onto the Tusk. Damage drops the ult onto Heisenberg. They don't quite have enough damage to finish up because the damage dealers are on the right hand side of the fight. They're laying into this Largo and onto the Viper, and they will claim both kills. Heisenberg sprinting away from this Tusk. He's got a snowball. He's bringing his allies with him. Nice remnant from Maestro. Getting back into the groove on this Void Spirit as huge turn from Sentinel Island.
Yeah, really big. I think we potentially now have a game all of a sudden. I don't know what to say. Like Zonarch was just caught out.
Found by the edge of the remnant on Kyo. They're just going to clean him up. As nice hook shot away. Are they going to be able to find him? The Skyrath bolts are seeking him, and there's another snowball to follow. Pop.
I am the snowball from Cobalt.
Oh, another nice little pickup. We're suddenly very even on gold. Yeah, no, Zonarch just got caught out a little bit too early for the rest of his team to follow up there. They didn't have the ultis after the mid fight, and you know, nice patience on a couple of things. ESF ulti from
Largo, found by Tusk, kicked up into the air. Damage drops the ult, but there's Heisenberg beaming in, saving the Largo once again. Big priority for them. Is there a wrap now? Zonarch looking for King Jones. Not quite a blink dagger on Zonarch just yet, but it will be coming out. And like you said, Zonarch just slightly too far away from his team. This is what we've seen in previous series from him, where he is just pushing his limits. Irish Dota limit pushing, limit testing, and maybe it's a bit too much still. Rein it back in.
Look at his tag. That's how you know the ego. He's an ego gamer. He plays completely solo. Trying to put the game on his back, as I said very early on.
Mid lane, TP in from Zonarch. They're gonna find the Void Spirit into the stun. Not much you can do there. The Orchid Malevolence.
Orchid coming out at a nice time, and yeah, just Void Spirit, although he's like begun to get some items, it's gonna be a while before he has too much impact yet. He like brown boots and a vessel still. Once he gets the heals, he'll be a bit less speed, but for now I could see this CK just running him down any chance he
Radiant's
gets.
bottom tower is under attack.
It's collapse happening towards his top. Zonarch wrapping around the back once again. King Jones silenced up, pulled into the arms of the Chaos Knight, and they're gonna bash him down. Manta not quite in the right place to dodge the Heisenberg stun. And it's a tier 2 top, Mousy. Closing down this map. The pressure is just immense still.
We're seeing this kind of strong death ball in action right now. I think they're a little bit too tanky, a little bit too sustainable for the damage that's coming out on Dire side. Like they're not really able to get too many pickoffs unless they get one person, as we saw earlier, unless they pick off Zonarch early. When there's no Dawnbreaker ulti, it's still going to be really hard to fight for Dire side right now.
Now, I do want to point out that regardless, King Jones is still top net worth in the game. He's got a huge amount of CS and has been quietly building his items. So there is still a way back into this game. If they can't get on top of him in a fight, he's going to lay out a huge amount of damage. And same with Mazanti on the Visage. Quite quiet for the last several minutes down here, farming away on the Visage. Closing in on an Assault Curse, which isn't going to help too much with the magic damage on the Radiant side, but maybe with the CK just stopping him bursting any of their heroes might be the difference maker.
It might help power up the SF just that little bit more too. You know, it could be a bit of a difference maker once the negative armor is coming out.
Jones, maybe located, but there's a counter jump from a Voxo, finds the Largo, might be giving his life away for the SF as Zonarch. Potentially finding someone with the blink, he jumps right on top of the Void Spirit, he's going to get collapsed into the ground with some big hits from the illusions. And, I mean, they do get King Jones out of there. So, Mr. President has been relocated off to the top side of the map, but Roshan is down here. He is the next focus for the Pepegs.
I mean, you said yourself, the SF's a little bit of a looming threat right now. The Visage, like he has the AC now. He got quite a bit of gold from his death toll kills in that fight earlier. So, you know, if they recognize them that these guys have the potential to become strong, why not end when they can take the Roche, take the map and get some tier 3s.
King Jones pinged out under a ward. They might look to wrap pincer movement him in this top area. It's Poltergrace on his way over. Counter smoke though. Maybe King Jones is the bait here if he can survive long enough, but this Dire lineup are going to run into the Largo first. Voxo jumps in with the punch, but King Jones on the backside, he's going to get busted down. I'm expecting a big jump from Zonarch when he eventually gets here, but in the meantime, it's looking Dire favored. Jump onto King Jones from Zonarch with the Chaos Knight. Can they keep the Chaos Knight at bay? They do manage to slightly as the Reflected Snowball from the Viper rolls over, cleaning up some kills as Maestro jumping on top of the Chaos Knight. Can he take him out? But no, he's got turned on. Sentinel stuns all of them as Zonarch and Maestro. Zonarch's going to lose the Aegis, but Maestro's going to get cleaned up potentially by the Dawnbreaker. And now it's just damage all alone. Tries his best to take out this Viper, but like you said, they're just so tanky and they can brawl for extended periods here on this Radiant lineup.
The Centaur being a double agent there for a little minute. He nearly made the difference for the Void Spirit, but again, he's just too far behind. He's now below Clockwork and net worth. I don't really see much of a way for him back in without his team pulling off a bit of a crazy fight or a couple of big pickoffs in a row right now.
Yeah, surely if the lane had gone even slightly better, maybe one more item on this Void Spirit, like in line with the other cores in the game, maybe this fight goes a lot better for them.
Like he has his Yules now. He's not as easy for the CK to pick off, but still, he's vulnerable to pick off. He only has 1600 health. He's not that heavy armor. He can still just be blinked and stunned.
9k lead, the Aegis dissolved, and they haven't gone high ground yet. High ground may be the turning point for this game. Their high ground isn't amazing. They are looking to wipe the enemy team and then stroll up with Chaos Knight.
Yeah. Definitely, it's probably the one chance that Sentinel have to come back in this game right now. As you say, they don't have great potential to break the high ground, but if they get a pick off or two, it could be scary. Voxo recognizing that, I think, with these wards too.
Playing for the eventuality, but he gets found out by the Keo Clockwork. Another nice hook shot from him, and one of these bounces of Voxo almost dropping there just to Keo from those cog bounces.
Yeah.
Zonark strolling up ageless. The confidence.
They didn't want to commit anything else there. I think they could have had a Voxo if they'd wanted to, but they're content to just keep the resources.
Keo finds him with the jetpack, but Maestro jumps in. Yules is off the silence, so might be able to get away from this, but he's going deeper in. All skills on cooldown. And the poke is maybe enough. Voxo jumps in, maybe looking for a punch, but is he just baying? He's wasting time with the snowball. Zonark's not sure where he's going, but he's going on top of the tusk. They're just going to clean him up. SF lays into the Clockwork, finds him on the sideline. And SF, from this high ground, he's laying out so much damage into this Viper. And Heisenberg jumps in to try and save him, but he's going to share the same fate. Maestro, can they find the damage? Triple kill for King Jones.
No, some big turnaround on the high ground there. As you said, that was probably their one chance to get back. I know Voxo put down his buyback, but I think he'll be pretty happy with that. Even with 2 deaths right now, it's a 2.5k gold swing, and they're pushing them off that tower once more.
Yeah, I think you're very happy with that. The buyback entirely worth it. King Jones gets a triple kill. You're holding him up on a pedestal at this point, saying, "We need you to right-click these enemy heroes and kill them in 3 hits. Otherwise, we've got not much going for us." Yeah, and he's getting there. He's certainly getting there.
He's still top of the net worth chart. Still, he has BKB. He opted to switch out instead of going the Hurricane Pike. He bought a full BKB first. He doesn't have buyback gold at the minute, but if it's another fight like that where they're not catching King Jones immediately, he has become quite a scary tool right now.
Catching this SF is the name of the game here for this Radiant lineup as they smoke up, seeking any target here. Keo looking top, maybe for a hook shot onto a Voxo, but instead, mid, Zonark jumps in. Can they save Mazanti? Voxo pulled back by the lick. He can't get the snowball off. Once again, Mev making these small plays in these fights and changing the tide. Keo does find the hook shot, but it's onto the Void Spirit, jumps out into the Dissimilate. Shield Rune popped for him. And a few ults expended for Radiant. Could there be a smoke move out here from Dire to counter, or are they just going to say, we're holding our high ground?
I think they're still going to have to play high ground. It's the one risk is, if they split up or if they take a bad fight, this is game over for them. So content maybe to be a little bit less efficient right now in return for the safety of being able to play the game.
Yules. But once again, a nice lick from Mev, just securing him out. Maestro jumps in, gets silenced up though. He doesn't have the Yules for himself to clear himself, but Zonok punched up in the middle of all these heroes. He's getting clicked down by SF. Nice hook shot in from Keo, disrupting the back line. Zonok out at the back under the cover of a Glimmer Cape, but Maestro's Void Spirit does manage to find him and clean him up. And now the Viper up into the Yule Scepter. King Jones on top of him, might pop the BKB, and he will. Rinses through this Viper's health and searching for more. Out comes Maestro's Void Spirit once again, finds the catch for his team.
Yeah.
Pretty convincing, and again on the high ground.
Some real good play out there from Dire side. Like Mev was doing his best with the licks. He pulled Viper out towards the end too, but it wasn't enough. You know, they're a scary team to fight up into on the high ground. And you know they didn't even have SF ult on that one, so that looked pretty
Shot in the
convincing.
bot lane onto damage. They're gonna find him very easily with this Heisenberg backup, but Maestro is now looking in the bot lane with the Void Spirit. And his team are running after them. Can he find? He finds Clockwork with the jump up into the Yules. Hypnotize. Heisenberg says, fuck, I'm out of here. I'm going through the gate. Keo, can you get through the gate as well? Mazanti's coming with the birds. Can they stop his channel? They can, just with a remnant. Bird stuns come out to stop the Glimmer Cape moving too far away from them, but they guess wrong on the Dissimilate. Keo jetpacked off the side of the map, doesn't have a TP for a few more seconds, but maybe this is enough to get him away. Does get pinged, but nice escape from Keo.
Very nice. Honestly, I thought he was done after that first heals, but no, well played from him anyway.
Yeah, wasted a lot of time from a lot of heroes on the Dire there while the rest of Radiant were dead, so I think you're very happy with that if you're Keo there. Space creation.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm trying to look at what items could be coming up that could be big for the next couple of minutes. You know, see the next swing. We have a BKB out in the Visage. That's just arrived. You know, it's starting to. Although they still don't have the net worth lead, you know, it's starting to look like their items might be a bit more impactful right now. Like a Bloodthorn up on the CK, but he doesn't have a BKB. He only has 3,000 health. He's not that strong yet still. He's not unkillable.
The map was quite red 10 minutes ago. Now it's a little bit less red, but there's still time to
make the other side.
Make it red again.
Yeah. Just red for the other side now. But yeah, like one thing I will say is it's a bit of a hard game for the Tusk right now. I think he needs something else. Maybe like he's got potential saves, but that's it's really hard to be standing in the middle of this other team right now when you know they are still relatively tanky. They're still pretty sustainable. Unless he gets something, I find that it's a common complaint of mine that like Tusk into Clockwork isn't a great matchup because you can just stand at the edge of say a set of cogs, and once his snowball hits, like him and anyone else in the snowball just gets cogs zapped. But oh, sorry, I had completely missed the Roche.
That's alright. Roshan claimed for a Zonarch once again, and they
have
will
no eyes and I must scream.
Move towards the towers as Cheeky Tormentor picked up for the Dire side. That will go onto damage on Scarf Mage. But yeah, Avoxo, I feel like he's been doing quite a lot with his limited resources here so far. Like disrupting the back line with Justice Blink Dagger has been pretty instrumental.
Yeah, but that's like he's done a really good job. But it's hard to do it. So you know he has to be playing it perfectly in order to make that work. And, you know, so far we've been seeing a lot of that.
Congregation on the high ground once again. Zona kind of playing safe behind his Viper, who has picked up the shard so they can attack buildings.
What do you think of the Maestro picking up bots at the minute? I suppose it maybe likes the idea of getting a couple of split push waves off, but right now, whenever the enemy team
Big
is on your
wrap
high
coming
ground,
around. Maestro jumps in, but he jumps into the open arms of Zonarch, who awaits him with love. Does manage to jump away just in time as Clockwork is the first to fall. Big ulti coming out from Heisenberg on top of 2. SF's trapped in the middle of the cogs with the BKB going. Has to pop the ult at the end of the duration. And now he's trying to turn, but there's a lot of heroes on top of him. With the BKB gone, this Viper on full health is able to chunk him down. Maestro's back in. They're looking for Heisenberg. On the Dawnbreaker, gets sucked in by a Remnant. Maybe King Jones is going to come through with one last kick. Just about survives. As Mazanti in the base, meanwhile, takes away the tier 3 tower, and now Viper is in the middle of some heroes that he doesn't want to be anywhere near. Under the guise of the Glimmer Cape, does manage to sneak away, but that's not your base.
Yeah, no, are we going to see them going back in here? I think I'd be wanting if I was Radiant right now. Zonarch still has the Aegis.
It feels like posturing here in this jungle that they do want to get back inside this base.
Yeah, no BKB up on King Jones right now. I was surprised that Maestro did manage to get out of that. As I said, my one concern was that he's kind of pushed off any power spike in the hopes of getting a couple more split push waves off with the bots. But he did make it out of the fight, even if barely, and you know, maybe they're getting something out of it.
He's tanking a lot of spells for his team if he is surviving here,
Yeah.
and then he can provide the catch and the control in the last half of the fight. Jumps in once again. They're looking for this Viper under the Skyrath ult, but he's taking almost no damage as SF now jumped on by the Viper, but he gets forced off back by the SF. And Tusk will be the one that's first to fall in the middle of all these heroes, looking to just create some space, but SF was so far back he couldn't follow up. Zonarch jumps in now, still has the Aegis. SF does so much damage to him. Can he turn this around on Zonarch? Lifesteal back up, he's trying to hit. Finds the Visage, Mazanti taken out. Aegis respawn as Poltergeist laid in by King Jones. Does find the ult off onto the Void Spirit, so they're going to try and take him out. Chaos Knight in a little trouble here, but so is King Jones. Both these heroes feeling a bit vulnerable without their team around them.
Yeah, they're somewhat successfully defending. I mean, they've still got their melee Rexes both times, but you know, they're getting chipped kind of little bit at a time, and it's maybe like they are holding and they're keeping their chance to be in the game, but it's maybe starting to look a little bit worse every time for them.
Are we seeing
I don't think
Keo
we
in
saw
the
any
top
buybacks
lane?
on that. Oh, damage bot back.
dissuading the Void Spirit? Punch out from a Voxer. They're looking to turn this onto Keo, who has no mana left. I don't think he's jetpacking away from this one.
No jetpack this time. King Jones looking to pick up his Daedalus. He's bought out a recipe. Is he gonna give it up over buyback? I would
I think
hope
at this
not.
one you do.
Barracks are under attack.
Bot lane, Viper and Zonarch on the CK. Once again up to the high ground. They're just going to try and take out this Rax that's surviving down here as Maestro jumps into the backline. Big silence out from him. Double Skyrath ult from damage as Viper blown up by the SF. Heisenberg isn't enough to save him with his Dawnbreaker ult, and now Dawnbreaker might be in trouble as Maestro cleans up the supports on the side. Catch coming out. Snowball. Nice blink away from Heisenberg. But there's a step coming up soon from Maestro. Might look to jump and yule someone. And it might be Zonarch that's his target. Finds him.
Got him.
Remnant still on cooldown. Zonarch BKB TP. Do they have anything to stop it? Is there a punch coming? There is not in time.
His blink dagger was on cooldown on a Vox, so he wasn't able to get it in time. But no, like, I don't know. Again, they pull off a really good high ground defense. This time they didn't
They're out on
really...
the map, Mousy.
They are insane. Oh my
They're
god.
running it down.
Maestro's hitting creeps. He has bots. He's hitting creeps. Insane.
Radiant's middle tower is
he has actually like made a gap between him and Clockwork in the net worth. I think this is the first time of the game. But no, like they're pressing buttons really good on Sentinel right now. I think that's the big thing. Their execution in the fights has been really good. You mentioned earlier, Avoxo, like every time he's played it to the best of his ability. I think in quite a few team fights, it's just he's done everything he can with very few tools right now. King Jones timed it well. If he managed to get in just as his BKB cooldown was about to come up, and at that point he's too scary to fight.
As the state of the game remains, kill King Jones or King Jones kills you. And I think that's how it's going to continue, as Zonok splitting his top lane away from his team.
Yeah. No Roche for a little bit. Are Sentinel going to be willing to try anything outside of their base? I suppose this is going to be the big question for the next couple of minutes of gameplay right here. I think they're comfortable with the fights on high ground, but outside of that, it might be a little bit too rough right now.
Few heroes rotated up to this top lane to stop the Chaos Knight illusions from hitting the base, but they're going to smoke back in and they're going to find Void Spirit milling about in the jungle. Avoxo jumps in to try and save with the snowball, but doesn't even get it off. Or it was on cooldown, sorry.
He does save him through the virtue of dying in his stead, though.
I think, Avoxo's very happy with that. That's basically all he's been doing for the past 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with no buyback on Maestro. I think he was just fully willing to tank to death. He's going to continue to have very few tools for the next fight, but
Maestro with the bots looking for this clockwork, finds him with the Yules.
Doesn't have a cooldown on Remnant though.
Little scary to chase.
Yeah, no, they see a lot of the other team, but I don't know. This Radiant side can cross the map so quickly.
Jump in from Maestro straight on top of Zonok as soon as he pops the ult, just to try and dissuade him away as King Jones tumbling out the base after him. Big aggression out from Sentinels. Once again, Void Spirit finds the Yules up, and it's a frog for dinner.
Yeah.
Avoxo further go. They're continuing onto this aggression Poltergeist with the reverse snowball, but that's just going to ball him back into an Aether Remnant. Pops the BKB just in time, considering the TP out, but there's so much damage out from King Jones that there's no way he's making out here. Zonok, meanwhile, splitting in the top lane, forces some rotations back once again. Gets half the tower during that engagement.
Checking Roche, but it's not up yet, unfortunately, for Sentinel. But no, like we're seeing, Maestro's starting to come into the game a little bit. He's getting the picks, just the astral step into Yules, and then his team follows up. He's starting to make some plays.
Clawing back up the net worth ladder, almost ahead of the Dawnbreaker now, and I think with the trajectory of his farming, he's gonna be climbing further up, so bit scary if you're this Radiant lineup. I feel like the pressure that they exerted on the map has drastically fallen off now.
Yeah. We still see a lot of ability for Pepegs to rotate around the map, but now Dyer's on this Roche. I'm assuming Radiant aren't going to be able to contest, and it might be looking kind of. We might finally see the state of the game flipped a little bit. Could be time for Dyer to look at some high ground of their own.
Well, certainly with this Roshan secured by the Dire side for the first time in the game, I'd say we should be pretty happy for King Jones, as he's going to have 2 lives in this next fight.
He does indeed have Refresher Orb.
Yeah, but the second BKB is going to be happy. And a double damage to boot.
Busy reading
This could
chat
be disaster.
here. But
if
yeah, I don't see them killing King Jones twice right now. I think it might have to be a play the avoid game for the next 4 minutes. The DD though, they could just look to push down some towers. Might finally take that top tier 1 at 45 minutes. He's hitting hard.
Yeah, plus 520 damage on this Shadow Fiend without a rapier. Pretty scary. Keo evacuating through the gate.
Indeed. You're looking at Torm bot here.
And it will respawn as expected. Is Keo gonna be okay? I think so.
Looking like it. I think he's gonna manage. You know,
And
it's
that's the
close. He
logo
only has
shard.
50% health, but he made it.
How do we feel about this logo shard?
I said earlier, I think it's so good right now. Like putting the glimmer on himself and someone else, or a Lotus if he chooses to go it. But he has a locket. He has a glimmer. It's actually really good right now.
Maestro in the trees, walks into Mev first. No reaction from Mev's team, but here comes Keo and the clockwork. They're gonna lock him down temporarily just to keep him back. All to save Mev as Zonarch blinks up away from the Void Spirit, but he's gonna run into the Tusk who punches him up, keeping him in place for King Jones to lay into him. Has to pop the ulti on Zonarch, turns onto the Tusk, bursts him down, but now on the run, can't get away from King Jones.
Sentinel, I think some really good team coordination in these fights. You know, even though the initial go over towards Largo didn't work out, they were able to identify that Zonarch was killable. Avoxo again gets on him, BKB or not, he has the punch, and that was kind of enough to set up for the rest of the team and get there and get him killed.
Catch from Maestro further into the base, jumped on by the Viper, but they're all getting controlled out by these remnants. Maestro himself getting controlled out by these cogs and gets pumped down by the Dawnbreaker. And now King Jones also taking a lot of health, licked back into the puddle of the Viper. He's going to lose his first life. Maestro buys back. Boots travels into the fight. He's here to disrupt. He's here to keep King Jones' second life intact. Nice reaction, dodges the hammer from Heisenberg. But no damage at all on this tower from this push.
Yeah, there's no Aegis is up, but there's no CK in for a while. They might think he has buyback, but he hasn't saved it. Just gonna call it a day though.
Yeah, back to farming the side waves.
Yeah. You know, Maestro's starting to look more and more like a core with every passing minute.
Sure, he's pretty happy about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Big five-man smoke out from the Pepegs. They're going to course through this top jungle and maybe look for this buybackless Void Spirit.
Yep.
And is he going to hit this wave? He's been wanting to hit creeps for such a long time this game. Throws out the remnant, but he's going to jump away.
Big scan out from Dire though. They catch the smoke on the jungle. They're aware of this.
Just about gets through the gate there.
Big scans. The radiant ones were good catching Maestro, but the whoever scanned there probably just saved Maestro's life. And they're pretty coordinated here. They're nicely set up on bottom. But Radiant could push in on top.
This is the last lane with a tier 3 standing, so it's one that you might want to defend rather than trading. And that is partly because you're on the back foot here.
Yeah, we're looking at the pressure of the map, as you said earlier. If they get the tier 3 and something down here.
Hook shot out from Keo. And the Visage follow up. They're going to take Keo's life, but Heisenberg tries to save him. The snowballs there and the BKB out from Keo. He's looking to turn. Visage out into the stone form, wasting the Viper's time, but the Viper's still right on top of him. Pops the BKB secondarily now. Trying to fight back. Will they find a Largo here with the silence pop? They won't, as top lane, Zonarch finds himself under the fire from Maestro, and King Jones does take out Maestro before he dies, who has no buyback. But now this returning to this fight in the mid lane damage, He's the last one alive here on the Dire side, and will get taken out.
The Zonar kill on top, I have to ask how that happened. We're seeing he still has ulti, BKB, and Refresher on the SF. So Zonar must have been low at the start of. Oh, he did
Yeah,
take out Void Spirit, so it was a 2-on-1. Okay.
Yes, yeah. So he popped the ulti, tried to wrap the tower, but a big response out from King Jones and Mazanti. Speaking of King Jones, looking towards Heisenberg here, just strutting. Double
Some
buyback,
drop.
but there's a hook shot out. They're going to go straight onto King Jones, who has to pop the BKB here, and can't quite find Keo because the Glimmer Cape comes out.
Yeah.
3 buybacks forced from this small go out of the Keo Clockwork and the Dawnbreaker.
Yeah. Good pressure from them right now. They might be able to hold and wait for this next Roche. You know, it still really feels like anyone's game here at 51 minutes. Or I should say it now feels like anyone's game. It's kind of been a little bit back and forth for the last few minutes, but nobody's felt concrete enough ever since this high ground has started to really call it.
Dire are
There's
scanning.
not a lot of buybacks left. Voxo straight up to the high ground here. Enemy territory, but the birds are scouting just to give him enough confidence.
Yeah, they know CK's not up for a few minutes or for a few
Jet back
seconds.
around
They
the
know he
side from
doesn't have.
Keo. They jump onto King Jones with Poltergeist, but he blinks out of there. And they may just reclaim this high ground area.
We have no, well, technically no BKB on SF for another few seconds, but he still has this refresher. He's going to be very decisive in this next team fight, I think.
Let's see if he can manage to get it off, because he's got no buyback, so it's all in on this next life. Zonarch pops the illusion, sends them up towards this top tower, 1 click away from taking this.
Dire's
Down it falls, onto the racks, hit the illusions, they're hitting pretty quick. But damage and Mazanti there to clean them up. Incredibly low committal skill that he can just send into the base here, but I'm sure they're looking to close this out whilst the buybacks are on cooldown.
Yeah, they have a lot of buybacks right now. There's the potential for Roche soon, once it comes up, but you know, I think they're starting to be a little bit worried about these timers. You know, if they leave it any much longer, as soon as if they don't convincingly secure for a Roche, like it could be potentially a
Jones
60 minutes.
aggressively straight out onto Poltergeist. They both popped the BKBs, but they're looking to get the right clicks in from Jones. Is he able to get it out? But he's Viper striked up through his BKB and he falls. He's the only one with buyback, so he's straight back out into the fight. Tipping out, and Zonox here now, but he's nullified underneath. A Skyrath and he dies. Heisenberg to follow suit as Mazanti finds the catch once again onto Poltergeist, and this time he's got no Viper strike against the King Jones refreshed BKB. And some aggression out here from the Dire side, leveraging the King Jones buyback. They find a favourable fight.
Yeah, no, it felt. I know they used the buyback, but it felt really decisive outside of that. I don't know if they get the if they push up a little bit now and get Roche, I think they're feeling it on this game.
It's not quite up yet.
Not
But
quite.
hopefully we'll be up before the Radiant Heroes respawn.
It should be, but they're gonna potentially force buybacks here. We could see the same. We could see 3 buybacks coming out from Pepeg right now.
The great equalizer, Mazanti, walks down, hookshot in from Keo on the clockwork. He's immune within his cogs now with the talent, I believe.
Yeah. Plus, he does have the BKB as well. This is a fun time to be a clockwork right now.
Radiant's middle tower
Just trying to slow down this push as best he can.
fortified.
Fortify is popped, so now Sentinel will return to the Roche pit. And it has respawned.
Yep.
Maestro, he doesn't care. He's going in here. He finishes off the tower hexed up by the clockwork. Mev with the lick is not quite in time and does manage to escape these 2 supports. Mev is looking very aggressively out here.
Yeah, I suppose they know about the Roche attempt right now, where they heard the roar, so they're feeling comfortable a little bit. But I don't know, Maestro is going to be very hard for these two supports to catch alone. Posturing, just I suppose. We were asked what neutral CK has. If it hasn't been answered by now, it's giant small at the moment, with a attack speed on it. I know, 55 minutes, so it was what I was about to say
Hook shot
earlier.
on
Like,
top, but it's an illusion.
we're getting closer and
Sorry.
closer to these 60-minute. Yeah, no, absolutely. But like closer and closer to these 60 minutes, like these can just be the game decider. I think both teams are probably wanting it to be wanting to control the map before that. If they don't, either team has the potential to lose off just one bad neutral.
What do we think about this Aegis? Is this the we're just gonna go win the game now, Aegis, or we're waiting till our buybacks are back up and 60-minute neutral items Aegis?
It's 5 full minutes on the SF. Like
It's a while.
he's not going to happen until after 60 minutes and his Aegis is down. I feel I really can't say what I'm curious what their team chat will be saying right now. I think if it were me, I'd be I'd be screaming for us to try and get something, make something happen out of this. A little bit of a smoke play, but
There's the smoke play as predicted. Moving on across this triangle area. It is well warded here, but under the guise of smoke, they're going to look to wrap. CK back in the top lane, up to his old tricks. He's going to send the illusions once again onto these racks. And he will clean them up. Maestro looking to intercept here. Jumps out, but Zonox disengaged already. Avoxo might be the one to find him though, as he greeds for this neutral camp. No jump from Avoxo. There's no follow-up if he does. Slightly too far ahead of his team there. No, through no fault of his own, but that's just how it worked out. As Maestro, hook shot up, does manage to find the Yules instead of the Zonarch stun, but he is hexed immediately out of it. Can they burst him down during the duration, or is he going to be able to escape with the Dissimilate? He does so. King Jones, he blinks in, he's on top of Poltergeist. He's wailing into the SF, but he's Viper striked up. He has to pop the ulti, but he's getting deleted by Zonarch. Respawning with the Aegis, can Zonarch use the rest of his BKB duration to take out some more heroes before SF returns to the fight? SF pops the refresh, he pops a second ultimate, and now he's wailing out onto Heisenberg Stormbreaker, who has a blade mail, so they're going to chase after this SF, and he gets stunned up by Zonarch once again. Zonarch finds the kill onto SF, cleaning up as clockwork. Keo flying through, finds Mazanti with a cogs on the backline damage, lays out some damage with the double Skyrath ult, but that's not enough to dissuade them from taking out Mazanti. Poltergeist cleans up that kill, and now damage thrown up into a tornado in the air. Zonarch's hungry for more, and he's hungry for your racks as well. The map is so red as Zonarch. The map's so red he's walking into the enemy fountain. He's just picking up a Desolator.
Yeah, no, insane fight from them. Really good start to the fight. They caught.
Buyback's coming up from Dire side. Maybe it's not over, Visage. Buyback, Scarth and Tusk also. Zonarch runs scared to the sideline. Clockwork trying to make space, but he might get blown up here. Licked out of the way. Thank you, Mev. Big Heisenberg ulti tries to turn the tides, and they're going to take out the Tusk once again. Mazanti, how much can he stall this? Can he live here? Hookwork once again from Keo. Does get silenced up before the cogs and might get licked away from damage. Saves him under the Glimmer Capers. Oh no, Zonarch's big bad, and he's blinked on top of your boy. It's Scarrath Mage going down once again. Mazanti, the last one left, but Maestro's back with the buyback. Pops the BKB straight on top of Zonarch, but now he's getting bashed up, and the Ancient has fallen. Pepegs, I mean, very impressive out from them, Mousy, I'd say.
Yeah.
Another win for the Zonarch.
A really convincing early game. That I think you pinpointed that their issue was a little bit of a high ground thing, and I think Zonarch maybe decided to solo it a little bit too much towards the mid game, like a couple of pickoffs on him that just made the game that much harder for them. But in the end, they managed to get the pickoffs on their side, and You know, that last fight was really, really well done. But you know, I can't say that it could be as convincing next game. Couple of little things on Sentinel, a couple of little changes. If they fix those lanes, they could very easily take game two.
Well, I can't wait to see what a Div 1 that we have this season for the Irish League. I would implore everyone who enjoyed this game as much as I did to drop a follow on the stream and meet us back here in about 10 minutes for game 2 of this series. We'll catch you in a bit.
Yeah, thanks. See you
Whoa! I can't believe it. We're back. It's Irish League Season 6 Division 1 with the Pepegs versus Sentinel Island, and the Pepegs are up a game. Mousy is joining me back in. Mousy, how you doing? That was a great game, right?
Oh, good. Yeah. Really anyone's game, even in the last minute of the game. So no, exciting stuff, and maybe we'll even see a shorter game this time.
Dire team pick.
One can only hope, but it's Irish Dota. We love a long game, especially in a Div 1 match. And the bans, pretty similar to the last game, with the exception of the Viper, first banned out by Sentinel. They are not having any of that. The Death
Maestro,
Prophet also banned out, so we'll have to see Poltergeist on a different hero.
Maestro was saying no. Viper destroys my imprint score. Can't be having it. No Largo respect ban so far though.
10 seconds
I'm
remaining.
shaking my head.
We could see another logo,
5
and it did look
seconds
pretty good
remaining.
last game.
Radiant
Pepegs
team
opting instead for Treant, most likely POS 5 here. And it's a damage Shadow Demon out for Sentinel Island. Again, one of his premier heroes.
Trent has been pretty big so far in the meta.
10 seconds remaining.
I suppose there's potential of a flex there. Has he
Seconds
pretty much
remaining.
only been played 5 so far in pro games, or have you seen any like 3? Now
I
that he's
don't
doing
think I've
some
seen any
damage.
3 in pro games, only in my
Okay.
pubs, Mousy, only in my pubs.
Such a
But
shame.
as far as
Right.
Irish League, I'm sure we've seen a core Treant in one of the lower divisions. Not sure that we'll be seeing it in this Division 1 match.
Yeah.
But a strong hero at the moment, regardless.
This is surely the damage pick on Sentinel here, Shadow Demon.
Yes, almost
5
certainly.
seconds remaining.
I'd put a lot of money on it.
Yeah, we said last game he has like 3 probably core picks. This is definitely one of them.
Dire team pick.
So all reliable. Throw him on a Shadow Demon. Tons of save.
We might
Um,
see the Tusk out again for Avoxo, considering most of his other heroes have been banned out. And it is something they like to run. They do love to put King Jones on this
10
kind of
seconds
ranged,
remaining.
pure damage hero like the SF we saw last game, which is
5
banned out,
seconds
along
remaining.
with the Visage by the Pepegs.
yeah. No, he does still have a few options. I believe he's played um, not so much in the league so far. He's mostly played he's actually played quite a bit of PL, but I do think in his pub games he's played quite a bit of Drow as well, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. Who knows?
Radiant team pick.
Um, But
Shadow
okay,
Shaman, that is an interesting one.
yeah. I suppose similar to last game, like these ones feel like they have the potential to do a lot of early game stuff. Shadow Demon and Shadow Shaman, like just you go around the map. If you get any advantage, you go around, you hold every tower.
5
So
seconds
maybe we
remaining.
could be seeing some early game plays from them this time round. If they're not on the back foot of the lane.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Shaman, great lockdown, a lot of pushing potential. He really rounds off some of these more lopsided drafts. I think last game we saw that both sides, or at least the Radiant side, kind of lacked a bit of that tower push. So Sentinel not falling for the same draft, I would say lightly mistake that the Pepegs uh, fell into, but it does open up their draft for basically anything at this point now. Pure damage hero for King Jones, anything that Maestro wants, probably the Void Spirit unless it gets banned out. As the Pepegs, I'd still like to see a Tide Hunter here for Pavel, who has played that previously. Maybe it's stacking a bit too much with the Treant's job in this game.
Yeah, they could potentially be opening themselves up to a Timber Saw in that case. I would just be slightly worried about taking too much strength in the first 3 picks when they haven't banned it out. But it could be done. And again, like we've seen him play well on it, so it could be a good control option for them.
Now I'm
You
sure
know,
the
if it,
Pepegs at this moment are debating, oh, do we pick the logo again? And that's why this second pick for them is taking so long.
well, of course it is. I fully assume it's Largo, right? Right?
We'll just
Is
have to wait and see.
this?
30 seconds left on
Yeah,
reserve
this is
time.
reserve time.
This is ticking down. They've got to make some decisions. Pugna.
Okay.
What do
Yeah,
you feel about this Pugna hero?
I don't know what I feel right now. Pug is still pretty decent, but I don't think he's particularly strong in the meta.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know if any of them play it. I'm just gonna have to
5 seconds
have a
remaining.
quick look here at this. Who would it be? Would it be
I would
Keo?
assume this is a
Sorry, Keo is
Mev
+5, so
hero?
Mev. Um, hmm,
Although potentially
interesting.
supports are switching around. We do see the Heisenberg
See the
Tide
tide.
Hunter picked up. I think it is good against both these support heroes. The Pugna,
Seconds remaining.
I mean, against the snakes, I suppose you can decrepify people. And if you are enabling your cores to survive this huge lockdown from Sentinel supports, then you can just life drain into them and hope for the best.
Yeah, they have some potential. Like, I suppose the potential good thing here is right now, if Shadow Shaman is, say, grabbing one of your cores and Pugna is either decrapping or sucking them off as you do, um, it could be very hard to kill them. You know, just the potential of negating the CC on Sentinel's side, but I don't know how it'll work out right now. And yeah, there's the Timbersaw pickup.
Right on the money, Mousy. It's the
Yeah.
Timbersaw pickup. Feeling pretty bad now against if you're this Tide Treant duo in this game. And even the Pugna is prone to
Yeah.
getting blown up here, right?
I think so. Like, there's nothing really there that's going to be scary to Timbersaw that I can think of at any point this game. Like, does the Tide Anchor stop him zip chaining?
I believe it does.
It does. Okay.
So
Yeah.
there's some counterplay, but it is rough.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So there's something there, but I don't think I'd be feeling good about if I was any of the Pepegs players so far on on my lineup.
And what Zonarch hero would you pick here if you know that you're playing against a Timbersaw?
Let's
Is this the
see.
matchup he
I mean,
played previously as anti-mage?
I was gonna say we could be seeing a return of like the AM. Zonarch will pick
Luna
whatever he thinks. Luna.
for Jones.
Hmm.
I suppose this is a decent lane matchup into Tide for him. So just that, keeping out of range of the Tide, keeping back with the stun.
I suppose so. I haven't really seen much Luna in kind of any play lately though. Feels a bit lackluster generally from what I've seen. I suppose potentially they're just looking for these big team fights right now. Maybe when you get up an Ags and you have a Timbersaw running around in between their team. But
Where maybe with the Timbersaw pick you feel a bit more comfortable just picking a comfort hero or something a bit more solid. If you know that the Timber is great against most of their draft already, you don't need to go too out of the way to pick something crazy.
yeah.
Outworld Devourer seems like the going crazy. Pretty good against Timber. Decent against Luna. You can put yourself in a little hole during the alteration, I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit
Oh.
scared of these supports once they've got a Blink Dagger on the Shadow Shaman.
I suppose
But
there's
I
like
don't
a
hate it.
yeah, there's like a nice little bit of cash and a nice bit of save. I think if their team, they probably have a vision of a team fight right now, right on Pepegs, and if they pull off this theoretical perfect team fight, nothing can go wrong. But you know, it's going to be really reliant on the setup. I think if Tide or if Treant don't get a big catch, I think it's going to be hard. But you know, there's a lot of potential. The OD can be really good. He has like some nice options for save. You know, if he chooses to go the shard later on, it can very easily save people from the Luna ulti or from say a Shadow Shaman. But you know, it's really going to be down to execution. I think on both of these teams right now.
I'd say I think the Timbersaw is the key to the game for the Sentinel
Yeah.
Island. I think he has to have a good game, and then maybe you get an early gem on him so that you're not scared of this Treant scouting out the team for this perfect initiation team fight for the Pepegs.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% on that. It's like it's really on how his game goes right now. Last game we saw obviously Sentinel's lanes didn't go too well, but a lot of that was down to the draft. So potentially a much safer one this time. And a Queen of Pain last pick. Um, I don't know, anything. Any thoughts on how Pepeg are going to want to play this?
I am befuddled. I would assume it's a Quap carry, as that would be more traditional than an OD carry, at least in the last few metas worth of games. As a response to this, I mean, now you're looking like maybe we do need to protect our Timbersaw. They've got so much damage here, and 2 huge lockdown spells. Do you just play for the lanes? Nope. You go back to the
Maybe another
classic.
Void
It's
Spirit.
another Maestro Void Spirit game. Can he redeem himself in another not so disastrous, but still a bit nasty matchup against this Outworld Destroyer?
He's here to prove himself. He's here to prove everybody, including the imprint scores, wrong. He wants to make the Void Spirit work. He's gonna go it back. Um, looking like so what it's going to be the OD mid Quap carry. I
Yep,
suppose that's
Zonock has locked in the
something
Quap.
into a or into a timber saw. Mac, you throw daggers at him and hope for the best.
You're at least ranged, right? So you're not walking
Yeah,
up too close to get these creeps. We'll have to see how it plays out.
and Mev is on the Treant. And are they going to do a lane switch up, or is this going to be Treant 5? Is this going to be Treant 4? Sorry. It's
I
an
think
interesting
traditionally,
lineup.
yeah, traditionally you'd see the Treant 5 with this Quap in this scenario just do the ranged melee on both lanes. But
Yeah.
is the Treant gonna want to avoid the Timbersaw lane entirely? Are you then stunting the Tides lane with this double melee? We'll have to see what they work out here. It's not clear cut.
Yeah, I think I'm favoring the Sentinels lineup this game. Like my one issue is I, Luna. Is Luna a hero?
Bit of a wild card pick.
Yeah.
I think in the previous season of IBL, Sentinel did play King Jones on the Luna quite a few times with a lot of success.
Okay.
Them being the previous winners.
All right. Well, in that case, if it, as you said, if it's a comfort pick, maybe that's going to make the difference. Like we've seen time and time again in this, that comfort kind of trumps meta. I mean, even at our Div 1 games, this is, what, 8-9K average at the very, very top. And usually it's slightly below that. So potentially we're just not at a point where the meta contributes as much to just that execution.
Aggressive move up from both teams as they're going to clash at the top rune. Maestro, the first to be found, bound up by the Treant, straight into the Dissimulate. Does manage to get away, dodges the Blood Grenade, but King Jones into the Astral Imprisonment, now chased down. They're switching targets, but they have quite a lot of damage on this Radiant side. Mazanti, big buzz cut out for 5 heroes there, but it's still not enough to dissuade any aggression out. They find the Treant in return.
Huge deny
It's
from Maestro, though.
He found the deny.
He found the deny in the middle of the fight there.
Very nice.
I believe that gives them the first blood, or does that deny the first blood?
I'd assume it denies the first blood, in which case they claim it for their kill on Mev.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Do they get first blood bonus for Mev? They got more gold, so likely came out.
Yeah, Maestro
pretty well
said it
there.
on 1k net worth, so I think that's going to be a very nice start for him.
Pretty huge deny then. Yeah.
And we'll see how this lane plays out, but for these first few levels, mid lane is going to be pretty quiet as Mev, nice route out from the invis, finds Mazantian already dropping low. I expect a lot of aggression out at the early levels against this Timbersaw to try and keep this Quops lane playable into the later levels of the lane.
Yeah, I imagine there'll be much less of an interesting time in mid lane this time. Although Maestro is looking about as low as he was last
He
game
likes
against the
getting clicked
Viper.
by this OD. He really likes getting clicked. But he's going to play around with his health. As damage, found once again from the tree line by Mev with the root. And Mev just going ham onto both Mazanti and damage here. So much damage from this level 1 Treant.
Yeah, he's a big boy right now. And they get
Bound
the
up,
bind.
they find the dagger as well. This might be a kill onto Mazanti, saved by damage with the disruption, but can Zonark find the scream at the end? No, he can't. Slightly too early, and now turned around by damage with the blood grenade going out. He's going to find a kill on damage. So, nice play there from Sentinel Islands, and once again, Zonark, we love him, but maybe a bit too aggressive here. Throws the lane a little bit as King Jones now the aggressed on by Heisenberg's Tidehunter. Just poked down with a little bit of gush as bot lane. We miss another kill. Out onto Mazanti. Finally, Treant pops out of the woodwork and just whacks him down with his big fist.
This is some classic Irish Dota limit testing. It always comes back to it. Everyone is
forth,
about
back and
one hit
forth.
from death at any given time. This is what we love to see.
Runes exchanged in the middle lane. As we return back to this bot lane, Mev looking for an opening, but now with the level 2 up on Mazanti, he's going to be slightly harder to chase down.
Yeah.
And a sentry out and a quelling blade. They're taking out the trees, but top lane Tidehunter's in a bit of trouble. He's dropping low very quickly as a Voxo can't quite find the follow-up damage.
King Jones fairly low as well.
Just getting harassed out by this Kyo Pugner. Mev will claim the fruit in the bottom lane, as will Kyo in the top.
Maestro leading the last hits on the OD here. He's definitely not leading the health at any point, but he's farming. He's doing well here.
Yeah, drawing even a lot easier than the Viper matchup for sure, and maybe a bit more warmed up here as he plays as aggressive on the wave as possible to get these trades. Podsgrace opting to max the Astral, so just playing to control this wave, get his items up.
Yeah, and I think he'd be
Small
pretty
go
right
out
to
onto
do
the
it right
bot
now.
lane as Mazanti found once again by Mev on the sidelines, and damage also taking a lot of damage.
Nice,
Some
nice.
continued trades out from Mev, but he gets stunned up by the Sentinels. He got 3 stacks of poison on, and a big Q comes out from the Timbersaw. Is he going to be able to survive through this? He drops another root as Zonark, manaless, and healthless. Can't quite follow up. All the heroes down here on the brink of death.
Let's not leave
2
bot
points.
lane. We're gonna miss kills,
Dagger
I'm
out
sure.
on Mazanti. He might need to be saved here, but damage doesn't have the mana. Is he going to look for the deny instead? He does
He
find the
gets
deny
it.
on damage, but now he's maybe given up his own life by staying a bit too long. Blood Grenade finds the kill. And Maestro,
Yes.
he's got to be careful here a little bit.
Some truly insane gaming in bot lane right now. Everybody
There's a
is
little bit of fun down bot, isn't it? They're just trading absolute huge blows with each other non-stop.
Maestro in mid right now. Ooh, he's living.
He's just about fine. Top lane though, King Jones gushed up. Retreats under the safety of the tower though, not quite enough damage in this top lane to really bring him low. As bot lane once again, action-packed Mev on top of the wave has to heal himself up a bit. And these poison stacks now coming out from damage. Now he's hit the level 3. They are stacking up, Zonark, you gotta watch out. A lot of burst can come through. Mev pops the invisibility. Careful, there's a quelling blade, there's a Timbersaw, but top lane, they found Tide, he's shackled up under the tower, they're gonna electrocute him. Does King Jones have another Lucent Beam to come through? It's coming up in 1 second, but it's not needed as Voxo cleans up the kill with the right click. Now King Jones right-clicked back up. As bot lane, it's another feast for Mev, but it's another deny. So many denies this game.
Yeah,
Mazanti,
Quap Dagger doing negative work at the minute.
this might be a grief. This is not looking good. Another route up out in the bot lane, some aggression coming through. Zonok could be in a bit of trouble, but now instead Mazanti's in trouble. No route on cooldown for Mev. As jump in, Timber chain forward, Mazanti getting clicked down. Is there someone to deny him? There's not.
Oh.
Damage is not quite in range this time.
Meanwhile, Maestro going down in mid.
Yeah, it does fall to the OD, just gets clicked down. Bit too low and doesn't really have to sustain to stay there much longer. Might have to think about looking for a rotation to the side lanes. Doesn't quite have the level 6 for it yet. Now pops to level 6 just off this last wave here. Mev, Timber chained up from Mazanti, but dodges out some of these poison stacks that could have been lethal from damage. Aggressive move by Maestro under the tower. Does take aggro for a little bit, so slightly scary. Uses both the jumps. Poltergeist puts him into the banish and does not have the ult available, so we'll just try and click him down. Void Spirit does manage to walk away, so just playing limits Dota in Irish Dota as Heisenberg also pushing his limits. Is there going to be another Lucent Beam that's not quite in range, but turns it onto Keo instead, and will click down this Pugner. Freebie for King Jones there.
We're not seeing much gaming around the 7-minute runes. I thought there might have been a bit of a timing for Maestro there, but I suppose he
think
was
because
just
of the
left a little bit too low.
the pressure on these lanes, because they're brawling so much, they can't afford to leave. It would just swing too wildly as damage. Watch out, there's an invisible tree behind you, and Zonok's got his ultimate ready. This could be a double kill if he gets this off correctly, but he's just going to go for damage. There's no way to deny that kill. And Mazanti, level 5, awaiting his level 6's mid lane as a dive out from Maestro onto Poltergeist, but it goes wrong under the tower and gets clicked through. Even without the ult from OD, which is coming up cooldown soon.
Yeah, he's
Mazanti, fan once again, there's no one to deny him. We feel a bit bad. We would love to see some more denies, but that is not how this lane is going. It's a death fest.
yeah. Like what's this? There's 7, 8, 9 kills so far in bot lane, but the denies, meaning the kills don't even match out. Truly a game.
Poltergeist maybe gonna get dived on by Maestro here in the middle, and he's got a shield rune and he just popped a salve. So he might be okay, and Maestro reconsiders the Void Spirit heading towards the top lane. He's going to run into the Keo Pugner. Uh-oh. Keo, you might be fast. You can drop down your Netherward, and that's enough to dissuade another go by the Void Spirits. Feeling pretty sad now. Hasn't hit a creep for a minute.
No one in deny range right now, though, crazily enough.
That can certainly change in the next few seconds as King Jones and Avoxo make their way out onto Heisenberg. He's walking away very slowly on this tide, but they've got the Eclipse ready to go. And even though the Shackle gets dispelled, there's a fight in bot lane as Mev and Mazanti brawling out. Mazanti finally gets the kill onto the tree, and before he falls to the Quap Dagger, Zonok now chased away by the damage. Is he going to pop to Shadow Poison here? Avoxo comes through the gate and secures it with a big snake that looks like a chicken.
Huge rotation. Unfortunate that he had to use the snake. They got him with the pop. Otherwise, they would have had the tower out of this, I think. But still a really nice kill right now, putting Zonark down a little bit. Especially with how big this lane has been so far, with the amount of kills, the XP. Like, he's 7, Poltergeist is 10. They're coming out of these lanes strong right now.
Yeah, slight mismanagement of the skills there, but not mismanaging this Astral Imprisonment onto the Void Spirit, who did pick up an invisibility rune. Maybe can make a rotation with that, but who's rotating here? It's Mev on top of 2 supports that have a sentry ready to go, and Mazanti's here to clean him up, so unfortunate pathing there from Mev. Not quite prepared for these supports to be sticking around as Zonok up to the top lane with Heisenberg. They're shoving King Jones out of his lane, but there might be some rotations here.
Poltergeist.
King Jones is lingering around. Mid lane, Poltergeist in a bit of trouble, but who's in real trouble here? It's definitely Poltergeist's damage. Throws on some more Shadow Poison. I don't think he even needs to get another stack because Poltergeist is pretty low already.
Maestro doing
He's
some
baiting
stuff.
under the tower for a
He's
Voxo.
baiting something.
He's baiting.
What?
He's got an urn. He's got a vessel. He's got an urn, and he's ready to go for the next fight.
Felt slightly unnecessary, but yeah,
Keo with the level 6, not quite
not
enough,
quite.
but it does force the next urn charge out.
Vox was smoked here.
I run into Mev, straight into the invis.
Smoke equals broke.
Careful Pogner in the mid lane. There's a Void Spread approaching, but Poltergeist is here to serve as the big body. The Dire scanned on top of themselves as they move in towards a big skirmish in the mid lane. Maestro is on half health and he does get put straight into the prison. Snake dropped on top of the Pugner, who will survive for a slight moment as Heisenberg comes through with the Ravish. They turn it onto Maestro. They find a Voxo, but not before Tidehunter falls. OD doing as much damage as he can, but Maestro's back. He bought back for this, and he's straight back into the fight, looking to clean up. Zonarch drops the Sonic Wave onto Maestro's buyback. Can they kill him? Is he going to get denied once again? He's not. Damage did try for it, though. Now Damage trying to bait Zonarch in, and he does. Baits him straight into the Eclipse of King Jones. And, I mean, nice rotation from King Jones. Stopping the Zonarch aggression that could have gone almost indefinitely, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Snake just survived a little bit too long there. It was pretty low from the amount of creeps and tower hits, but it just got left up to do a ton of damage in the middle of the fight. Shaman doing like the most damage out of that fight, coming up ahead of Zonarch on the Quap. Yeah, I think it went a little bit unchecked, and they were just caught in a bit of a bad position anyway.
Another snake usage. This time it was on a tower, but with the Treant armor and the fight going the way it did, it's another protected tower, and OD is going to claim the first in this mid lane. Of Oxo, as he run into a little ward for him to deward, but Keo is wrapping around the other side of him with a smoke. Poltergeist
They have the Astral.
moved up towards this top lane. They're gonna start onto the Timber Sword. Do they have someone else to follow this up? They might need a bit more lockdown, but Poltergeist without the ult might not be able to
Plus,
find
he has the
his
Aether
anti
Lens if he gets the vision. He's actually just outside of range right now to get anything.
Blood
He
Grenade.
got it.
Oh, I missed Timber Chain there from Azanti onto the near tree. It's going to secure his death as Avoxo drops the snake once again onto this Treant. Damage will claim that kill. Damage also looking for maybe a disruption onto Poltergeist.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
King Jones
As
just
Pugna maybe found by
farming
Void
on.
Spirit on the top. TP's away to the bot lane. Gates through.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I think
Zonarch
right now.
happy with himself. Bit of time to himself in this bot lane. But they're
Yeah.
bringing a lot of heroes.
I think King Jones is kind of happy with the same here. He's pulling ahead. He's farming up a storm. He's level 12 at 14 minutes now. He's 1,000 ahead of the OD nearly, and out leveling the Quap, which is a little bit scary right now.
Zonarch caught out by damage. He drops the Demonic Purge, but Blink TP from Zonarch gets out of there pretty quick.
So
Small
far,
lull.
I'm pretty wrong on the predictions. I thought the Timber would be a little bit more kind of scary at this point of the game. I know it's potentially just a lack of items right now, especially with how that lane went for them. But they have been able to shut them down a lot more than I expected.
Yeah, this Quap answer in the draft turned out to be a great pick from the Pepegs, and they've made it work. We'll see if it can carry them through the rest of the game, though. If it goes as late as last game, this draft is not going to look as good as this Luna. Poltergeist finds a clean one onto the king of the club in the top lane, pops him into a little portal, and then drops the hammer. Mev scouting out. There's a smoke nearby, but he will get hexed up before he can find the invisibility. Timber to cut down, but here's Heisenberg with the Ravage. They're looking for the Timber Saw, and with the OD damage, it's more than enough. Suck onto a Voxo will secure his death as Zonok, an aggressive jump onto damage. No way out of here. And it's looking Pepegs once again.
Maestro, he's used everything. Do they know?
Yeah, Maestro again with these TPs back into 4 heroes like he loves doing, but he's bound up by the Treant. And there might have been a mistake in this instance. None of his rest of his team alive here.
Definitely an interesting one on that TP.
Mousy, do you think this is a mirror of last game? We've got King Jones on the side of the map, AFK farming, and then we've got his team kind of feeding.
Yeah, it kind of is here. I'm just looking at what's going on. I feel like it's a mirror in more ways than one. Void Spirit is yet again looking like a support.
Not as bad as last game, but still not where you want him to be, especially on his Grandmaster signature hero.
Yeah, no, he's definitely been shut down quite hard these 2 games. The lane matchups have been probably pretty calculated for that. I imagine these people are doing a lot more research than I am on draft.
Congregation of Dieers in the top lane as Poltergeist poking his head out, maybe looking for someone to show on this wave. Smoke up behind him as well as the follow-up. They're going to put him also into the smoke here. Voxo, the banished target. Heisenberg moves in. Maestro on the wings, looking to jump into the backline. Does find 2 heroes, and he's going to look for the Pugner first. The Netherward's already out, though, so his impact's already felt within the fight as they drop the hammer onto the Voxo kill. They are going to find him, and they're going to find a Maestro in the back of the fight with another click out from OD.
King Jones TP's in, but he doesn't get into a position to do anything really.
Again, King Jones TPing into these fights, eager to help, but they're getting rolled over here a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely a little bit surprising it went that convincingly for them, especially without the Ravage. But, you know, they're taking control of the map right now. They've got a tier 1 and a tier 2 at the same time. Zonark just still getting that free farm off.
There's not a huge amount of immediate lockdown for Zonark until we get this Blink Dagger onto the Shadow Shaman. Mazanti, maybe be a bit careful. There's a Poltergeist out here. He doesn't have an ult just now, but he still hurts like hell when he gets these clicks off. Chunks his health, a 5th at a time. Looking to chase pretty deep. Maybe there's a turn here as Poltergeist up by himself. Here comes the nuke damage from Mazanti. They're looking to take down Poltergeist. Does have the Aghanims ready, so he's got a huge shield up and fighting through it. As on the side of the fight, there's King Jones in with the Eclipse. They're still trying to take out this Poltergeist OD. The Ravage comes through slightly too late to save his life. As the Die Hero is still holding strong on this high ground with the Snake Drop, they can fight under it. On the bottom of the fight, Zonark's here. He's joined and ready to take out some heroes. Avoxo gives his life. As Zonark pings out, wants to look for more. King Jones, what is King Jones doing on this wave? He's in the middle of the heroes, and Zonark drops the Sonic Wave. They do manage to disrupt to save King Jones. Great play from Damage out there, and Maestro disrupting in the back of the fight. Zonark low under the tower, managed to blink out along with Mev. Heisenberg looking for Mazanti, low on mana on Mazanti, but there's a snake on this high ground. You've got to stay away from that. And even though it looks like a chicken, it still spits goo at you. Mev, he might find Maestro here, healed up, but he's nukes down instead. Kyo tries to heal up his Druid, but ends up just setting him up to get exploded. Yeah. The return kill on Maestro, though, you will take any day for a Treant kill.
Yeah, I think kind of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory on that fight. It felt like they'd come out pretty good up until that point, but I don't know. It's every time I think I know how the team fights have went, or like that they should go, it has been the opposite. So I'm just gonna have to start guessing the other way around.
I think this fight only looked convincing for Dyer because Heisenberg wasn't able to save the OD with the Ravage, like couldn't get in position to
Yeah,
stun the heroes around him.
yeah. Like, and he was still very close. Like the Hags pulled him out for so long, but you know he went that far forward trying to catch and just ended up split up from his team.
Another triangle move out here from the Dire side of Voxo has to blink out of the triangle as they're moving straight down towards the bot lane. Is Zonok fighting King Jones? It's the carry 1v1. Zonok has to blink away. And now the ensuing fight that's certainly going to happen on the backside here is going to be a collapse onto Maestro. They don't quite get the control onto him and he's jumping into the dissimilate, uses both steps. But they can chase. Quap has a blink, might even find a dagger onto him. Vessel to turn. Aggro's the creeps onto the Quap. Little fun trick there. As clicks down, out comes a gush. Back through the trees onto the creeps. Sonic wave to follow. And just a chase down from Zonok. You can't get away from him.
Yeah, no, there. He's strong at the minute, and Maestro like using the two Astrals immediately to get out when they're not TPing. It's kind of hard. He didn't have TP up actually, I should say, but um, I don't know. They rotated across the map to try and commit on something, and they just really weren't ready for what that entailed for them.
Stacks and stacks for King Jones, but it looks like they're giving damage, some of these stacks. He's building towards an 8th the lens. He's quite far away from it, so I wonder if that's just for a little bit of XP maybe. It seems odd.
Yeah, he's got the blink at least. I think that's a major part in his save. Just being able to blink and save people from say a Quap initiation or a Ravage initiation is going to be
Yeah.
pretty key for them.
Blinks on both
We
their
look at
supports.
Sonar.
Konganaf Kloben also blinking, but with a different spell. Doesn't quite find Zonark here in the river.
Keo farming up his Aether Lens up top. He's close to it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And
Looks like we're
bundled for this mid lane tower.
Are fortified.
some potential pressure here. Looks they're gonna get this mid tower.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
A little bit of split coming out from the supports on Sentinel.
Damage has overtaken Maestro once again.
This is not looking good for Maestro. He's had several buybacks in this game, which is probably contributing to some of this low net worth,
Yeah.
but his impact is yet to be felt. We did see him start to come back in this previous game on this hero, but this game, even though his lane was better, his net worth situation seems to be worse.
Yeah, as you say, like I hadn't even caught the buyback, but if he's been using his net worth like that, like as you said, like we saw some good play from him last game, but even then it felt like it was set up right. It was set up in control. So he's probably going to go this way again. Like he has the Ag Shard. He's looking to just kind of set up for his Timber and for his Luna. But just know you'd be feeling pretty sad.
Torment to pick up for Keo,
Radiant structures are
and a
fortified.
huge amount of gifted subs once again from our top 5 favorite caster, Maniac.
All right, those will go towards some antipsychotics for Blinks. Thanks very much, Maniac.
Bottom tower is under
And if you are enjoying the stream in this hectic Div 1 game, consider dropping us a follow. We've got much more of this to come. And when the group stage, when the round robin group stage ends and we get the main bracket, there's going to be some crazy games.
That's where the true gameplay happens. Once there's something on the line, you know, the bragging rights, the flaming rights for the few months until the next event.
And the long-awaited Roshan trundle over to this top pit. Kyo gets a little thrown around.
Is under attack.
As continued split push out from this Evoxo Shadow Shaman. He's like, team, I want to use my ward. I'm dropping on this tower. I don't care.
He's doing it himself. The chicken is beating the tower here.
Zonok TP straight on top of King Jones almost. Looking to clean up this chicken. Evoxo in with the Hex and the Shackles, but Heisenberg's on top of him. He can drop the Ravage if he feels it's needed, but there's no follow-up here for Evoxo. Abandoned by his team.
I think his team might have made the right choice on that one.
I tend to agree. Poltergeist and Kyo looking for the wrap on the escape route from Mazanti. Stops by the shop, damage walking up the high ground. He's going to run into the Poltergeist first. King Jones also in the middle of them, but Poltergeist maybe out of his depths here. Turns onto King Jones, drops the Eclipse to dissuade Poltergeist, but Heisenberg shut up Zonark. Is Zonark going to blink in on top of them? Heisenberg certainly is, and he's going to drop the Ravage. King Jones drops the BKB though, is able to turn. Zonark dropping low, might be able to man fight down by King Jones, but King Jones certainly to fall to Poltergeist after the fact. Second life for Zonark, he's looking to take out Maestro's. Got not a lot of spells left, as one final shield. Can he get denied by a support? Well, yeah, there's a deny! As Zonark jumps in, he may be a bit too far from Zonark. Is there any way to save him out of this? He's getting controlled up by the two supports, maybe even just killed straight up by the two supports. As Mev dropping low to the poison. Zonark so low health. He finds a way out once again. Pogner to heal him up. Will they look towards a high ground push here? Still 3 enemy heroes remaining alive, but they're scrambling away into the top jungle, maybe abandoning this tier 2.
Yeah, execution felt pretty good on Pepegs there. They managed to catch. They took advantage of King Jones's early ulti. As soon as he kind of slightly whiffed the ulti there on the triangle, that they knew they could fight and they went for it. There wasn't really much to stop them on the committal. The like the Ag Shard out in the tide now is really nice for them. Like, I think that's one big thing in locking these guys down right now.
Extra control. Top lane, maybe go out onto the OD, but maybe it's a go out onto a Voxer. Mazanti, he literally doesn't care. He's farming the creep cam. Voxer does manage to blink out after shackling, but now in the jungle there's a huge fight going on as Mev eclipsed out by King Jones. Maestro maybe looking for some more catch onto Heisenberg, but gets body blocked up by damage. Big old drop from Zonark. Is he going to take out damage? No one's there to deny him because they're focused on killing Zonark, and they will take him out.
Slack on the
bit of a
dice.
split up here, and again some aggression from Zonark where maybe it needed to be a little bit of a back.
Yeah. Yeah, as I've been saying, like I feel like with this game or with these two teams, I've never been able to pin down what's going to happen next. It's truly a game of all time.
Poltergeist drops the hammer. He takes King Jones and Maestro to half health, but now Pugner in the tree line's been found by Vox, so he gets saved by OD temporarily. TP out with the BKB from King Jones, so none of that interests him whatsoever. And the Voxo escaping as well. It does feel like this might be another long one, you know, Mousy, as these teams, it's been back and forth, and the game is still only a 3k network advantage at 29 minutes.
Yeah. To be fair, so much of this network's advantage is on Luna, and as you said, like, Luna is the late game threat this game, but I've just seen fight after fight here where the Luna is popping BKB and then they're not really getting much out of it, and it's just kind of ticking down slightly every time. So
it's difficult for her because she wants to use it to fight the Quap, but if Quap can just choose to leave after the BKB's pop by blinking out, then it's a bit difficult. They need the lockdown to come, and that's coming from their supports, which are prone to getting ravaged or astral imprisoned, or it's coming from Maestro, and he's not quite got the items yet. He's not having a good enough game.
Yeah, like, looking towards the butterfly now, and I think if we see something like a butterfly satanic is kind of fairly typical in Luna, at that point it should be pretty scary. But she's probably going to want to farm those last 2 items before she really commits to the game.
Okay, big change out here. Maestro has a full axe. He's just shipped out the entire thing. And they're looking
Okay.
immediately at Zonok. They're going to jump on top of him with it. With the chicken dropped to boot, and damage doesn't even need to pop his spells as they blow up the Queen of Pain.
Full Axe is, you know what? It's baller. I
It's a
think
lot of control.
he's risking a lot into the Tide Shard without any way of stopping it for himself, but he's also just fully ready, I think, to commit for even if it's going to get him killed. I think he seems to be fully ready to commit to these fights. Just go in, hope your team cleans up, even if you get taken out. Could be pretty valid this game.
Keo being a bit cheeky in this top lane as the Pugner trying to push here, but Maestro's on top. Can he find the kill? The Nether Ward is dropped, but there's 2 more TPs in here, and it's going to be a dead Pugner, unfortunately.
It's creative though. He's moving them away from that bottom tower. 3
Yeah,
TPs
got a
across
little
the
bit of
map
chip
for
damage
it.
himself. A few more minutes to the next Roshan. Maybe gonna see a bit more milling about from both teams until that's a solid objective for them to play for. Smoke
Yeah.
wave in the mid lane.
Like, and we have the BKB out in co-op now.
Big change, but they can still get instantly hexed like this Tide Hunter did. Eclipse dropped on top of him, and it's an Aghanim's Eclipse from King Jones. Melting out this Tide Hunter, who previously had been quite tanky. Mev, under the sentry board, they might find it, but they also found Zonok with the shackles, and King Jones beeline straight for Zonok. They know, let's just kill Zonok. He pops the BKB, but has to blink away. Defensive BKB out. King Jones also pops the BKB, and Mev, stuck in no man's land there. Taken out as Maestro, straight in. Unbridled aggression out from him as Keo, Timbersaw drops all the spells onto him, turned back to ethereal form as on the left side, Maestro does find the OD, and they do take him out with the damage of King Jones. And it's all looking Sentinel as Zonok. Reverse aggression straight out onto Maestro. Has he got any spells left to get out of this? He's going to get daggered up, but he has 1 jump left. And towards the chicken, he does move.
Yeah. Great, crazy good fight from them. Picking off the Tide so quickly there was huge. And I know, like I'd said, the one thing was, like, I think the Lunax was pretty good this game. Very early on, I thought they would just be having to play around the Timbersaw with it, but instead they're just going, screw this, we're going to pick people off with Hex and ulti.
Zonok, you better watch out in this mid lane. Maestro is closing in, and there's follow-up in the wings waiting to happen. Does manage to escape here, but it's a movement now from the Sentinel Island Esports team towards its bot tier 2 tower. Soon to fall.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, whatever I thought about this game was clearly wrong because Luna's just fully in on it now. She has got the butterfly, but I thought she'd want to farm a little bit more, really secure that. But you know, she's 4K ahead. She's feeling strong. They have the ulti up again on King Jones, so
Up to this high ground. And we've seen ageless high ground pushes in the previous game, and they've not gone too great, but Zonok split pushing himself in this top lane. Maestro looking for a big jump, but no one hit. Avoxo does find Zonok in the top lane. He's shackled up. There's Timbersaw to TP. And they just don't quite have enough. He pops the BKB, pops the Sonic Wave to push them back. Is Zonok going to be able to escape here? It's looking pretty likely as he pops the TP out. Blink the wrong direction from Avoxo's bot lane. The tier 3 tower's gone down. Heisenberg in a bit of trouble, pulled back by the Remnant and cleaned up by the Eclipse, which is also cleaning up Keo on the backside. Maestro maybe a bit too deep now. Zonok, having escaped, has turned up. And what is that anchor attached to? Is that anchor on the racks? What's happening there?
what? Yeah, yeah, no idea. Honestly, it was a really cool play from Zonarch to Sonic Wave the Timber off the chain, but at the same time, they're paying so much for those split pushes. I don't think he could ever out split push a Luna like this. Although it kind of takes a bit of pressure off, they're still losing a tier 3 in return.
Radiant are scanning.
He is forcing 2 heroes back at least to kill him every time. And they didn't get the racks on Sentinel. They didn't secure the racks. So you're feeling pretty good. You've got Treant. I don't know if his healing on buildings is as great as it used to be, but you can do a little bit of work there.
There has been a buyback on the Tide though. Like his net worth is kind of dropping off a cliff all of a sudden, and like he's not coming up on the pipe anytime soon now with this. Another 2-3 minutes away.
I wonder if this should just be a BKB on the Tide Hunter. I don't know if this pipe's going to save him from Timber and Luna's burst damage. He's just getting soloed by the Eclipse at the moment.
Yeah, potentially. I suppose it's hard to say with the whole idea of realistically, Pepegs probably want to be all fighting together, and it's like one thing about Zonarch, the split push is nice and that it takes pressure off, but they're what we on June Squad like to call circle gaming. They just have lots of big circular ultimates, so they kind of want to play together on this, and I suppose the damage reduction from the pipe might make a difference, but
I mean,
really
circles
hard
on
to
the
say.
ground is a lauded Irish special strat for sure, especially in previous IDL seasons. And it just feels like they haven't found the initiation they want for the past 20 minutes. Mev not being able to step out without being found to scout for these initiations, and Heisenberg just getting deleted before he can ravage. It's looking tricky, especially with these BKBs. I know King Jones can just BKB off this ravage on reaction. There's not really an instant stun. Potentially they need to look for a hex on Poltergrace.
I suppose this is part of the logic too of the no BKB or of the pipe on the Tide, right? That um, if he gets hexed out of fog now, ideally he would have a team behind him, but we've seen it a few times where he's just been off and he's gotten blink hexed. BKB's not going to save him because he's already CC'd, right? So maybe that's the hope that it'll do enough for him to last for his team to get there, but I don't
He
know.
does have the dispel, but yes, I can see a reasoning. I mean, it's pretty rough when you have nothing to really save you against the Evoxo jump here in this game.
Yeah.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh, we could be seeing something here, though.
King Jones, better be careful where you tread.
He has an arcane rune. They're looking for the fight.
Tower is under attack.
Maestro, his creep was killed, so his teleport's on cooldown. He's going to have to walk here, and Heisenberg drops the damage before King Jones gets the BKB off. Can they burst him down? Mev looks for a huge overgrowth on the BKB duration, but it's dispelled by King Jones, who's wailing into Heisenberg. He's going to take him out eventually. Poltergrace healed up by the Pugner, healed up by his Aghanims, but he's still not quite got the damage to take out King Jones, as King Jones pops the Mask of Madness and cuts through. And even without Maestro, they secure this fight.
Yeah. No. Seeing him walking up with the arcane, seeing Maestro TB, and you know they wanted that, but it worked out really well for them. It was a little bit scary whenever he wasn't able to react to the Ravage this time. He was a little bit too close, but he wins that anyway. He wins the 1v1 because of the butterfly. They're looking strong.
Tower is under attack.
And soon come the Satanic, I'm sure, for this Luna, in which case it's going to be pretty difficult to kill her without some kind of disable, some kind of hex or alternative.
Yeah, Zonarch's looking at like a Parasma right now. I wonder would it maybe be a call to switch towards a Hex.
Building into more damage, but I'm not certain that that's what he needs, really. Roshan,
Yeah.
once again, for the Sentinel Island, as the Aegis, I expect, will be neatly placed in King Jones' inventory. There we go. Banner in the pit. They've left that behind before. Let's see that picked up. Perfect. Maestro's taking responsibility. And Zonark, watch yourself here. Voxo's wrapping around the side. He might find the blink disable here. Not quite. Treant with the trees out, but scouted immediately by a nifty sentry on the low ground. As in comes the push. The Serpent Ward is dropped. The Luna is clicking the tower. What have you got left in the tank, Pepegs? Zonark walks up. Jumped on by Maestro. Drops the Sonic Wave to dissuade him. Banish onto Maestro. There's no follow-up disable for him. So he's going to just jump straight back onto these two cores. Ravage popped by Heisenberg. He hits a lot of heroes with it, but there's no follow-up for it. And now the Eclipse is dropped and is heading onto all these cores. OD safe inside of his Astral, but for how much longer? Does manage to get away, but his Aghanims is popped prematurely. Anchor now onto the Void Spirit. Mizanti's there to defend it, but Zonark clicking away crazily. Mizanti hit the anchor. He's pinging out on the Void Spirit. Can they kill it in time? They do. And now Zonark's in trouble. Gets exploded by the damage. Instant buyback from him. And they're looking to chase now. King Jones with a BKB. He's ready to fight. Heisenberg gets pushed out the base by the Sonic Wave, so he's going to be held back as Maestro jumps in to try and catch other heroes. Zonark looking to burst the Void Spread, which they do. Pugna keeping the OD alive just a little bit longer. He's solo and he's going to come out of his Astral Imprisonment into the Timbersaw, Spinning Blade, and he's going to pop to the Shadow Poison, but now Damage is also going to lose his life for the securing of that kill. And it looks like a hold of some description there for Pepegs, but it is the Zonark buyback.
Yeah. I mean, this Luna is so big at the minute. Like
Satanic completed, ult
Well,
ready to go. No buyback on
12k
Zonark.
net worth
Might
lead
just
on the
walk up.
Luna alone. Timbers now
I think
up
if you're
into
King
the
Jones here, you
charts.
just go. You can drop the ulti. You can fight 4 heroes here.
Yeah. You've got a Voxel behind you with a Lotus Orb on the Shaman.
The
Timber
snake is
also
dropped.
has
They're grouping
one.
up for it. Playing it safe.
You know, I have to give some props as much as they blamed Maestro for the farming this game, for the positioning on net worth. A lot of the times when it's come down to it, he's pressed buttons well. You know, he's
Look, he's
really
very
got
good
into
at
those
pressing
tight
his
fights
buttons
for
on
the
this
control.
hero.
Yeah, like even though he's down on the net worth, he's really made like what he's had count. The shard for the big pulls, you know, it's really done a lot of work.
The map somewhat reset here.
Oh. As Malou has called out to us so graciously here, they appear to be building 2 pipes on the side of Pepegs right now. Tidehunter has his, Mez has half of a pipe. Are we going to see the fabled 2-pipe gameplay in Division 1 here?
Look, you can stagger the actives, and that will absorb quite a lot of damage from the Eclipse. Maybe this is insane strat.
Yeah, you know, how much damage reduction is it? 425 to all nearby allies? 850?
Oh, Eclipse popped onto this Pugna. They thought they were doing Tormentor, but Pugna just escapes by the skin of his teeth through the gate just before that happened. And now he's trundling up to the XP rune on the other side of the map.
Just by the hair on his chinny chin.
That was we saw a close one in the last game of that exact scenario as well with Kyo.
Yeah, he's made some insane escapes so far. They do pick up the Torb. You know, it was a calculated Tormentor ulti to secure. Yeah, maybe there's like, you know, the pipes mean everyone can take an additional 2 beams. I'm sure that's enough. Yeah.
Maybe. We'll
We'll
have
see
to
how
see.
it plays out. I
Avoxo,
suppose.
he's found Pugna. Not surviving this one, Kyo, unfortunately. No way out for you there.
Yeah. Big catches out of Oxo, doing his best on this game.
Up to the high ground, no creep wave just yet to speak of for Sentinel Island, but Maestro doesn't care. He's looking for any kind of good catch here. Dropping his spells. Mev finds him with the bind. Under the chicken though, it's pretty hard to fight as the hammer's dropped from Poltergeist. On the OD, the Ravage to follow through Heisenberg. They can burst Maestro. They might even find a Voxo to boot. Mev deleted by the Eclipse. King Jones with the Satanic and the BKB. He's healing back up off of Heisenberg, but now back line, it's Zonark. He's on top of damage with the BKB. Clicking him down, clicking, but he's not quite able to kill him. And now with the BKB out, he's on the run from the two cores of Sentinel Island. King Jones chasing with his own blink. As back towards the base we go on, and how lovely, 2 racks for the Luna to hit. Buy from Heisenberg on the Tide, but is there much they can do here? Zonark waiting on the wings.
Nice little Manta there. He was mid-cast on the OD Astral.
A catch there on King Jones could have been big, but does escape with his life.
He does. To be fair, he was basically on buyback. He had like -2 gold for it, so he more than likely would have had it if it was relevant. But at this point, a 37k net worth Luna, things are beginning to look bad. Beginning, definitely. Oh, Quap here.
It's a double damage, and the carry's going to fight for it, but King Jones blinks on top of it. Steals it for himself.
Oh, no cooldown on the blink for the Shaman there. Otherwise, I think that was a risky position for Zonark.
And his last 2 racks looking very tasty for King Jones in this mid lane. They're just going to send the Disruption Illusions in to be safe, but actually
no, they're not.
He's going to blink in like a maniac. He takes it in about 2 hits. And Zonark's back to his old tricks in top lane. He's going to try and push this tier 3 tower alone again. Is this wise? The Luna is in the base and the tier 4s are falling. How much space can Zonark create by himself in this top lane? Probably not enough. 1 tier 4 to fall. Smoke popped in the back line, but it's only delaying the initiation from Maestro to come. Jump onto the Luna, they explode him, but he's put into a disruption. Great save by damage. King Jones able to turn with the Satanic and the BKB straight back up to full health. It was the go of a century, but damage there to just stop it in its tracks completely. Incredible play. As now the second life coming through from the respawning heroes of Radiant. Zonark clicking away desperately, but now he's under the shackles of a Voxo, under the glaives of King Jones, into the Astral to save him once more, but the catapults are doing the work in the back of the fight. King Jones does die on the Luna, might not even have to buy back here as there's 4 catapults hitting the Ancient. Please kill the Ancient. Shadow Shaman wailing away. Can they kill the catapults in time? Is this decrepified? Suck it off. The Ancient falling low, 100 health, but they managed to hold.
Where's Maestro with the bots? Respawn immediately.
I'm sure if he had
believe.
buyback, he would have been in there immediately.
And he would have been dead instantly, and it would have been fantastic. But it would have been worth it. I know, insane. I'm so surprised they've survived through that. I don't think they'll be as lucky next time, but they have made it for now.
Now it's the return stroke from Zonark, marching up the mid lane. I don't think there's much to do here, really. Bit of banter out from the players. It's all friendly here in Div 1, especially with how close this season is.
We hadn't got to read out the Avoxo all chat just before he failed to end the game. Do we do it?
Here, I think you should have a go at it because it is a classic at this point for the Irish League.
You didn't end up here by accident. You're here because I outplayed you, outcalled you, and outcarried your sorry team to a loss it fully deserved. Every move you made was rushed. Every death was predictable. For me, not you. I relied on my team. You relied on Ego alone. When you pinged, it was noise. When you called Roshan, it was already dead. When you said go, your MMR turned red. And yet, the game is still going.
Bind onto Keo here, outside of the base. No buyback to speak of. And this might be the closing moments of this game as Poltergeist gone onto by Mazanti. A bit of a YOLO go away from his team for Mazanti, but he's got the BKB to follow. Zonok clicking away rapidly, but he just tickles him on this Timbersaw. And there's a snake down on top of the Ancient. King Jones to follow with the BKB. He's chasing after some kills. He wants to get a kill on Poltergeist, who has the axe to keep him alive just for a second as the Ravage comes through. Poltergeist turns with the refreshed ulti, but King Jones is able to Satanic and he's able to man-fight through all of this damage as Zonok finally falls. 5 heroes alive. And the second all chat out from Avoxo, and this time I think it's the closing all chat of the game.
I don't think anything's saving them this time. Truly, GG, well played to both teams. Really, I think it was points where both games could go either way. But anything you want to say, Andy?
I mean, another great close 1-1 from Division 1. I'm looking so forward to the
Yeah,
further games in this division.
A rare 1-1 in Dota Ireland.
And if you want to see more games like that, drop us a follow. I've been Andy with my gorgeous co-caster Mousy and my
thank you,
beautiful observer Malou. We're taking this one away. We're taking a little break after this heck of a series. We hope to see you soon.
Yeah, and if you haven't already, of course you can join the Discord. It's down below. We have our Irish Dota site. You can have all the info there. But thanks for tuning in, folks.